but in the last 12 months, I've been able to make $7.69 million in one of my stores. The reason I titled this video this way is because there are probably people that are a lot better than me right now, making a lot more money than you. And so it doesn't come down to how smart you are, what your IQ is. It comes down to only the strategy that you're actually following. And I think that I follow a pretty different strategy than most people. Like if you do a search for dropshipping or branded dropshipping, whatever, you just follow the same strategy that everybody else is teaching, you're gonna have the same results. And most people have very, very few results. So in this video, I'm actually gonna walk you guys through what my strategy is and how it's completely different. So what my strategy is called, super typical name of me, but I decided to call it the Chad funnel. Now the reason that I call it the Chad funnel is because, you know, when it comes to starting a business, you kind of have two types of people. You have the tryhards that are doing all these tiny little micro optimizations to their store, you know, changing prices, to their ads, and just kind of working against the grain. And then you have the Chads. Chads are the guys that set up these hyper optimized funnels that have a very, very high AOV, average order value, and conversion rate. And the only way that you actually get that is by having a different type of structure. And so in this video, I want to go through, you know, kind of what the old structure is that most people follow and the new structure that I've personally used to generate the money that I've made. So the first step of any, you know, funnel, and by the way, when I say funnel, all you can think of is like, imagine if you had like an actual funnel like this. Oh God, terrible, terrible drawing. But over here, all I mean when I say funnel is literally the process to get people from a stranger to somebody that actually converts and pays you money. This includes ads, this includes every step of your landing page process to the point where they are finished buying from you for the first time. All right, so this first ad here is going to be exactly that. It's going to be an ad. And again, this is like the old way of doing things. I kind of call it like the lazy dropshipper way. Now from the ad, you drive people directly to, you know, a standard product page, right? We call that like a PDP. And then after the PDP, they have sometimes a cart page. If not, they have a cart drawer. But let's just call this the cart. And from there, there's a checkout. And then after the checkout, of course, is like the thank you page. This is like the full funnel structure that most beginners use. And this is, in my opinion, like an absolutely inferior funnel strategy because it's not really maximizing your average order value, not maximizing your conversion rate, and it's not really speaking to people in the way that they want to be spoken to. You know, most people are highly, highly resistant to any type of sales process. And this process right here, just going straight from the ad to the product page, it's extremely direct. And at any point in time, if you have 100 buyers, only about 2 to 3% of those are actually going to go through and purchase from you at any point in time if you speak to them from this specific level of awareness. I'm not going to say that I came up with the strategy. A lot of people use the strategy, but what I do is I kind of use, right, the Chad model, you know, the Chad funnel. And with the Chad funnel, you have a little bit of a different structure. So you still are going to be starting with that ad, but it's not going to be a regular ad actually. It's going to be a little bit of a longer form ad, anywhere from, let's say, 3 to 8 minutes. And it's actually going to be a VSL ad. So video sales letter ad. Now, the reason that this works so well is because typical ads, once again, are only going to be targeting people that are really, really warm and really ready to buy. Whereas a VSL ad, if you're good at writing copy, you're able to basically take existing desire in the market and formulate that into, kind of channel that into your product, right? So you don't have to just only collect 2 to 3% of people, you can collect a lot more. The moment that you click a VSL ad, like the way you can tell it's a VSL, is it doesn't immediately get into solving or selling the product. It gets into solving the problem. So I can do another video on this. This is something that you guys are interested in. You know, you can just leave a comment below this video, and if enough people are interested, I can make a whole video on it. That's a thing in and of itself. Let's just say you have the ad down. The next step is going to be some type of pre-sale page, okay? So in this case, I'm going to do an advertorial. So an advertorial is basically a combination between an ad and an editorial. And once again, it's basically you selling to your audience, to your prospect, without them knowing that they're being sold to. And again, if you're good at writing copy, this can channel so much more desire. And all of a sudden your TAM, right, your total addressable market, just like 5 to 10 X's, because you're not only going after the people that are only going to buy like right here and now, you're going to persuade people to buy through your copy. This is the direction that the e-com space is going. I spoke at a conference, it's actually my own conference, the Elite Mastermind, not too long ago. And I said, who here is running advertorials or VSLs? And about 85% of the people in the room raised their hand. The people in that room in total are doing over $4 billion per year in sales. There's about 200 guys in there. And 80% of them raise their hands. So it's very, very much so a strategy that's working right now for the top brands in the space. Obviously, that's why, you know, I'm doing it, and why all the big dogs in the space are doing it as well. So what I'm actually going to do is go through and actually break down like a good example of an advertorial for you guys in just a second, but let's continue down this process, right? At the end of the advertorial, there's a call to action to actually purchase the product. And so here you go to the next phase, the next page, which is going to be a sales page. Now, the difference here between a sales page and a product page is very, very important, right? Product page is just like the standard page that's loaded on Shopify. Shopify. Here, I'm building all this actually not on Shopify. I'm building it either on Funnelish or on Checkout Champ. So a little bit more sophisticated softwares, but so much more versatility with what you can create. All right, and the difference is a product page sells the product, a sales page sells the outcome. That is the main difference, okay? Now from the sales page, after this, we're gonna go to an order page. And if you're running, Mark, what the hell is the difference between an order page and a sales page? Well, if this is to sell the product, this is to collect the payment. That's the only difference here. And the reason that you don't have these pages together is because there's more functionality you can add on an order page, such as many order bumps, more testimonials, one-time offers, quantity discounts, quantity breaks. You have so many different ways to increase your average order value here that you just can't have with the regular funnel structure over here, all right? So after the order page, this is where you actually like collect the payment. Now, most people here, especially most e-com entrepreneurs, I don't know why, they just think that e-com exists in this vacuum and there's only like one way of doing things. That's just flat out fucking wrong, man. What you go from here is you basically go to the OTO page. The OTO stands for one-time offer. The most emotional state that you're ever going to have in your entire business for your customers is right here. This is the point. And if you don't capitalize on this by putting more offers in front of your customers, you're just never going to be able to scale to the level that you want to. This step right here, literally, is where you have the highest AOV contribution out of any single step in your funnel because the price elasticity is the highest. You don't have to know what that means. Just know that this is the page that can literally be the difference between you being profitable and unprofitable. For you being able to scale to 5, 10, 20, 50, 100K a day versus get stuck at 1K a day, 5K a day, 10K a day, etc. Okay, so again, I could do a whole video on this. If this is something that you guys want, just let me know. But from here, you can continue this upsell process of OTOs as many times as you want. But obviously, you want to keep in mind the overall customer journey and make sure you have the best post-purchase experience possible. The secret here as well is you're going to have downsells at every single step. Post-purchase, after OTO 1, you show them the offer, you have a VSL, whatever. It says, hey, do you want this product? If they say no, you immediately have a pop-up downsell. Not a different page, literally a pop-up. This is something I've done really extensive split testing on, and just having this pop-up downsell here for the same product for 50% off is a phenomenally easy way for you to add more money to your AOV, okay? And you're gonna do the same exact thing here, right? Downsell. So let's just say at this point, this is kind of the total, Chad funnel structure at this point. So we get to the thank you page finally. Again, this is the structure that I use. I built all this out on Funnelish because the majority of your cold traffic obviously going to be the most difficult to convert. I send through this entire funnel. But if they're already familiar with me, or maybe they went through a few steps of this process, for example, they went to the advertorial but didn't go to sales page, I'll retarget them to a Shopify store. But everything else here is done through a Funnelish integration or a Checkout Champ integration. This is mainly for cold traffic because that's the most difficult and that's the most scalable. So this is the funnel structure itself right here. There's 2 steps here that are really the most important. One I already said is the OTO 1. The second most important step is actually this pre-sale page, getting this advertorial right. And I say advertorial a lot, and I think a lot of you guys don't really know what I mean. So I want to actually break down a really, really good example of an advertorial. Hopefully this isn't one of my viewers or one of my clients because these guys are killing it, but I'm going to show you guys this advertorial and let's break it down together. So this advertorial here is what's called a solution aware advertorial. So like, as you can see right above the fold, which is the first section of the page that you see, you already see the product. Not every advertorial does actually work this way, but because this one is very, very product centric and the ad that came before this one was also already selling the product, that it's okay if you just go straight to selling the product. I like doing advertorials more so with people that are in the problem or solution aware state. So like, they're not going to be as skeptical and as resistant to sales resistance and selling, but these guys, obviously they're absolutely destroying it. If you look at their SimilarWeb, this is just one of their domains. So they're doing like well over 1 million visits a month. I would estimate at least like 3 to 5 million a month that these guys are doing in revenue, probably more. Really, really solid brand here. So let's kind of break it down and understand exactly why this actually performs so well. So the most important part on any advertorial, on any sales page, like notice guys, about marketing, it's the first thing that's always like the most important, right? It's not like the call to action that you need to worry about fucking up. It's not like the story or the body of the ad or the advertorial. It's always the headline or the hook, right? For ads, it's the hook or the lead. For the advertorial, it's the headline. Literally just changing this one headline, the first 3 lines right up here, can be the difference between you being at a 3% conversion rate versus a 4% conversion rate. That's a big difference. It's a 33% increase. So here, the headline is Save Your Skin, Hair, and Health from Disaster with this disruptive shower head. This disruptive shower head part, this is a very, very common style of headline. It's basically the industry disrupting technology. And so that's the angle that they're running with in this case. I think that that's a great angle because this is a piece of technology and they're specifically going after how the majority of your water supply is basically completely screwed because of how it's super, super calcified and there's all this bacteria, fluoride, and all this bullshit in your water that we all know is true, but we still don't do anything about it. It's one of those things. So I think it does a great job. It hit the main outcomes very, very easily. So save save your skin, specifically the word save, I love, because it puts you in a position of reactivity, right? If it was like improve your skin versus save, like which one is more emotionally charged? It's obviously gonna be save, because by saying save, it means that they're in a position that they need to be saved in. That's much more emotionally charged than word like improve or clear your skin, right? So that word alone, I think, holds a lot of power. Skin, hair, and health from disaster. Again, like these two words right here, save and disaster, basically painting the picture in their mind that if they don't do something, it's gonna be disaster. And whether they know and are familiar with it or not, just saying the word disaster makes them think that there is an actual disaster that they need to fix. And so that's the first piece of feedback that I have here. You can see there's a section here that is, a quick CTA. I think these are fantastic. Honestly, even if it is not a product aware market, still having this just can increase conversions, because a lot of people don't need to read the whole advertorial before they purchase. Most people aren't, right? Most people are going to be scanning this page, scrolling. They're not just going to be reading every single word on the page. That's not how it works. Next, you can see that this particular product is backed by this doctor who I'm guessing is like a dermatologist. Yep, there we go. Dermatologist. So the position of authority is very, very strong. And notice, like, this is the majority of the selling section right here. Eliminates 96% of water impurities, making your skin and hair glow, and boosts water pressure by 200% for a luxury spa feel. I mean, this is not a new product, guys. Like, this product has been around a while. I sold a variation of this product when I got into e-com, like back in 2018. I did okay with it. I was not nearly the marketer that I am today. If I were, I would be light years ahead of where I am right now. But the reason that this works so well is because this is the main selling section here, and then it just immediately goes into overcoming objections. Like, look at this next headline. How fast can I see results, right? The very, very next headline. And that's it. There's no story.
So
there's no insane buildup. Because it is a product-aware advertorial, you don't need to go that deep into it. You just go right into handling the main objection here of how quickly people can see results, because you know that this is a product that you can kind of look at and immediately understand how it works. I'm a big fan of using GIFs on any page, especially if it's a technology-related GIF. So having something like this custom built is really, really nice. You can have somebody on Fiverr build GIFs like these for like, 10 to 20 bucks. We got another nice GIF here. Does 100 drops fit normal shower fixing? Notice this is another objection that they're overcoming. So like, this is the cool thing with these product aware advertorials. The GIF is fantastic, but it's just objection handling the whole time. This is not a traditional advertorial in that sense, because it's not like building this emotional story like most direct response stuff would. Just get straight into overcoming objections, because it's so easy to understand what this product really does. Here we have another one, just straight into objections. How do I change the filters? How do I change them? Blah, blah, blah. Here's another one. How much are the filters? Another one. Does this work for hard water? This is super interesting. This is my live reaction going through this, and this is so interesting because it's a pretty relatively short advertorial, but it's not really selling it in terms of like focusing on the outcomes and benefits. It's literally just getting straight into objection handling, because this is a product that you can understand it pretty easily. And I know down at the bottom we have a lot of social proof here, which is an absolute mandatory thing with advertorials as well. The more that you can center the testimonials around specific outcomes and overcoming objections or installing beliefs. Like, I was recently talking with one of my mentors. He said all your copy should do like one of two things. It should either overcome an objection or install an empowering limiting belief, or like remove an existing limiting belief. Don't just have testimonials on your page just for the sake of social proof. Like, that's not enough. They should serve a specific purpose. Every testimonial should be overcoming an objection or installing a belief that is empowering somebody to make a purchase. Then of course down here you have like the live Facebook, quote unquote live Facebook, comments as well. Overall, I would give this advertorial here a solid 9 out of 10. Obviously it's working really, really well. It's interesting because it's not a standard advertorial that you typically see. And that advertorial right there, that was really that first step. Aside from the ad, that's really the first step in the funnel. And you can see if I were to go through the rest of this brand here, I go to check availability, it's going to go at this point directly to an order page. So notice, because that was such a product aware advertorial, they completely skipped the step of the sales page. They just went straight to the order page from here to here, because the advertorial was basically sales page. I mean, it was just answering all the objections. So this is all to say, like, there's not a one size fits all approach here. I have what works for us, but ultimately it comes down to experimentation. A lot of the guys that made the rules about e-com and dropshipping, man, they are just telling you what worked for them. It's not a one size fits all thing. And this is all stuff that we teach inside of our program. So if you guys are interested in like actually helping us install this into your business or help you start this up any new business, you can just click the first link and check out my mentorship membership program I have with Alex Fedotov. It's called Brand Builders Academy. You can check it out if you want. If not, either way, we're cool. I'm giving away as much as I can here on YouTube, but you can always fill out an application and see if you're a good fit for that. Last thing is this elite mastermind that I put on in Dubai. It was by far the best event that we've ever put on, and it would not have been possible without all of our sponsors. So I wanted to specifically shout out OmniSend. These guys are beasts when it comes to email and SMS marketing for e-com brands. So if you're looking to implement these flows and these SMS automations that you should into your funnel, you can click the link in the description. Let's make it the third link in the description. Check them out. And other than that, guys, I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.
Switch to Verizon for just $25 a line and get iPhone 16 Pro. Get 4 on us.
This is Blender, open source 3D software that can be used to make animations,
Why is everyone spiraling over YouTube banning ad blockers? Like, chill guys, just use Pi. It's a free Chrome extension and it
Hey guys, Mark here. In this video, I'm going to be going over how I use something called addiction hacking to get rich. Now, if you can't watch this entire video to the end, that tells me everything I need to know about how successful you're going to be. This is a short video, so if you actually understand and apply everything in it, then I can promise you that this is going to change the way that you do work and the way that you see money. Now, the simple secret about life that most people don't want to tell you is that everybody is addicted to something. The difference between the regular people and the people that become rich is rich people intentionally choose what they want to be addicted to, okay? Regular people just become addicted to things that add no value to their life, they add nothing to their bank account. Whereas the rich people specifically are able to get addicted to things that make them more money. In this video, I'm going to show you how I do that. Now, like I said, everybody is addicted to something, but what the real rich people do is they use something that's called a chosen addiction. Now, most of you watching this video right now, we're all addicted to something, right? But if you look at the things that you're actually addicted to, are they things that are going to put more money in your bank account or take more money away? Most people are probably addicted to things like scrolling TikTok, to watching porn, to just doing things that ultimately end up destroying your life. And that is the real difference between regular people and successful people. The successful people, on the other hand, they use these chosen addictions. And so before you actually understand like how you can create an addiction yourself, you really need to understand how addictions work. Now, the first thing that I want to explain is like, what is really the difference between like a habit and an addiction, okay? Because this video is not going to be about creating habits. This video is literally going to be about creating addiction. So the way that I like to think about the difference between these two is actually very, very simple. So if you have let's just say like you have a standard baseline in your life that is literally this line right now. Let's call this line homeostasis. So this line here is basically just you existing in your day-to-day life. The difference between a habit and an addiction is a habit is something that basically takes your baseline and raises it and raises your levels of dopamine, right? Let's say, for example, reading a book, right? Reading a book is something that it feels a little bit difficult to do, but if you have the habit over time, it can make you smarter, more intelligent, give you new ideas. One thing I believe about books, for example, is like ideas in equals ideas out. So the more that you consume, the more that you're able to produce, as long as you're consuming good quality information. Now, that's a habit, right? So what is the difference between a habit and an addiction? Well, an addiction is something that if you don't,
oh my god, dude,
at homeostasis. So your real
like,
level
are
is
you
actually below
serious,
homeostasis.
bro?
An addiction is something that brings you up. So perfect example, for me, I'm addicted to working in many different ways. If I go a single day without actually working, I don't feel right. I don't feel normal, right? Or another example for me, like I'm addicted to going to the gym. If I have a day that goes by and I don't go to the gym, I don't feel normal. I don't feel good. I don't feel like I've really reached that normal standard level of homeostasis. This is true of everybody that's addicted to something, right? Let's take an extreme. Let's say you're addicted to meth. If you have been taking meth every single day for like 6 months in a row, and you try to go one day without having meth, you're gonna feel really, really bad, right? You're gonna experience withdrawal. That's the difference between an addiction and a habit. And the cool thing is that you can actually game this. Think about your life as a video game, the faster you're gonna be able to level up. And the cool thing is that you can choose what you are addicted to if you understand how addictions actually work. You understand the psychology and the physiology around why creating addictions are so powerful. Addiction is something that you literally can't break. Like if you try to break your addiction physically, mentally, you're just not going to feel normal. That's really the biggest difference between a habit and an addiction. Now, most people in life, they go about their life being addicted to things that they don't actually choose, right? They don't have the chosen addictions. They're addicted to things like scrolling on their phone or, watching YouTube videos or watching porn, whatever it is, things that basically take away from their life instead of adding to their life. So when it comes to understanding like addictions, there's really kind of three parts, right? There's three parts that if you nail each and every one of these three parts, you can actually game the algorithm, let's say, so that you can create these addictions that add value to your life, okay? So the three steps, number one, the first step is going to be the cue, okay? So let's take a perfect example. Granted, I'm shirtless, so this is very, very relevant. I'm addicted to the gym. And when I was first starting out going to the gym, I hadn't discovered this magical little thing called pre-workout. And once I did take pre-workout for the first time, I started taking it more and more consistently. And eventually I became addicted to it. I'm going to show you how, why the story is relevant, because the first part of taking a pre-workout, that there's a few special little ingredients in there that make you feel all good inside, right? But the one that's really, really most important for me is the cue ingredient, right? What I like to call the cue, because you can take caffeine and you won't want to go to the gym. You can take nitric oxide and all these other ingredients, L-theanine, L-citrulline. You can take all these, but you're still not going to want to go to the gym. But there's one special little ingredient that I learned that makes you basically have to go to the gym and have to work out. So for me, right, that cue, that first little step that allowed me to trigger to actually want to go to the gym is this ingredient that's called beta-alanine, right? Beta-alanine is something that affects your nervous system and basically creates that tingly effect. So when you take a pre-workout that has a lot of beta-alanine in it, your body will literally start to feel tingles, like spiders are crawling all over your skin. A lot of people really don't like this. And to me, honestly, initially, I really didn't like it either until I understand the psychology behind it. Now that unintentionally was my cue to go to the gym. In fact, now I don't take as much pre-workout as I used to, but what I do now is I literally buy the singular ingredient of beta-alanine. I'll just buy it off Amazon, and sometimes that'll be the only thing that I take pre-workout, because what I notice is that as soon as I start feeling that tingly feeling, it doesn't go away until you actually start working out. And so if you take pre-workout, you take your beta-alanine, you start feeling all tingly, it doesn't go away until you actually work out and you get a pump and you feel that blood flow, and then it starts to kind of dissipate. So for me, that was the cue that allowed me to create that addiction. I was literally creating a physiological response in my body to go and entertain that behavior. So that was kind of the first element that I had to get down, was the cue, right? That's the first thing that you guys need to get down as well. Now, the second step in creating an addiction is basically to actually go through the habit itself, okay? So in this case, we'll call step number 2, the routine. Now, the routine is actually you going through the process of the habit itself, right? So for me, this was going to the gym and lifting heavy weights, right? Just training really, really hard and pushing myself, because eventually for me, just to make that sense of tingliness in my skin go away, you have to go and lift. I've gone through a scenario before where I take pre-workout and walk all the way to the gym just to realize that it's closed and it doesn't open for another hour. And I'm just pacing around the fucking parking lot of the gym, tingling out of my mind, feeling like I'm going insane, but I still have to wait till I go to the gym for those tingles to really go away. So the routine is actually the main part of the habit that you're creating, the addiction that you're creating. It's the process, right? It's that middle section. But if you don't have the cue in the first place, that routine is never going to happen. And then the third part of creating that addiction is what's called the reward. And so back to the example of the gym, right? When I was going through the process,
Oh my God, dude,
getting
this
into the
dude's
gym,
so
what was the
annoying.
reward? Well, for me, the reward was getting the pump, right? Getting all that blood flow flowing into your muscles. And, let's say you're working out your arms and you look down and you feel like your arms are really, really stiff. Like they feel good. Then you're able to look in the mirror and feel this reward. So the reward for me was the dopamine release that I get, as well as all the endorphins that are being released as well. They signal to my brain, wow, I like this. This is great. I want to do this again. So that is the reward with this step. Now, granted, that's related to the gym. That's a little bit different. So let me show you some other examples. Another thing that I would do, this was actually when I was in college and I had to study for an exam. You have to do a lot of reading. You have to read a lot of textbooks. And if you know anything about reading textbooks in college, they can be really fucking boring. And so I was like, how can I game this in a way that creates an addiction to me reading? So let's take another example. Number one, I had to have the cue. The cue for me was this very specific type of music that I would listen to, specifically called beta wave music. So a beta wave, I don't want to get too into the details, but it's basically supposed to trigger the state of high intensity focus for you to actually retain the most amount of information. So I'll basically put on this beta wave music as my cue, okay? So I have that first step done. Now the second step that I would do is that I'll actually start reading, right? I'd read one single page of the textbook, and that would be, for example, the routine. Now the question would be like, okay, that's all great, Mark, but like how do you actually turn this into addiction to where like you can't even stop and like you don't even feel normal until you read? Well, one of the things that I would do is every like 2 or 3 pages, I'd place like a gummy bear in between the pages. You're gonna think I'm fucking joking, but I'm not. I would read, 1, 2, 3 pages of the textbook. I'd flip the page and there'd be gummy bear sitting there. Now to eat the gummy bear, it's gonna release dopamine in your brain because it's, super high glycemic index sugar, simple sugar, that creates this really good feeling in your brain. You release dopamine. As soon as I do that, I'm going to continue reading and continue that same process of cue, routine, reward. And so you may be laughing at this and thinking I'm a freaking nerd for doing this, but look, you try reading a textbook that's like 900 pages long about like Chinese philosophy. Like at the time, I wasn't super interested in that, so I wanted to game it and use it to my advantage. And this is one of the things that I would do. So these are like the 3 steps that you need to follow if you want to actually create that addiction. And in my opinion, the best type of addictions that you can create are the ones that have external stimuli as a reward. Now, I don't need to do these things because many of these are just so ingrained in my brain that the rewards are not external, they're internal. But if you're just starting out, external rewards are totally fine. So like, for example, the reward of eating that gummy bear, that's completely external. So another thing that you can do when you're going through this process and you need a reward is literally have something, like have a food. Another thing that I like to do is like consume caffeine, right? So caffeine can be a cue in creating this addiction in your life. So you have a specific caffeinated drink, White Monster, for example, that you really like to drink. That can be a cue right before you, for example, start working, start going into that deep work phase, that as soon as you drink that very, very specific drink, it basically triggers to your mind, okay, it's time to fucking work. Now, something very, very important that a lot of people fuck up in this process is that the cue cannot be used anywhere else, okay? So let's take the example of like White Monster, right? Now, where most people really, really fuck up this entire process is they start having the cue outside of that addictive behavior. For example, if I'm trying to get addicted to getting into that deep work state and I wanted to completely fuck up my results, I would have White Monster like all throughout the day. I wouldn't only associate it with that one specific behavior. I would have it in the morning, I'd have it at night, I'd have it before I, play video games, I'd have it before I go to the gym. I mix and match, right? The key really is to have something very, very hyper specific that is your cue. I can give you guys another example. One of the things that I do every single morning, actually before I get into my deep work state, is I don't have caffeine within 90 minutes of waking up because your cortisol is already really high and my adrenals are all fucked up. So I don't try to have a lot of caffeine, at least for the first 90 minutes of the day. But what I do have is bone broth. So bone broth for me is something that tastes really, really good. And I actually look forward to it in the morning. So that'll be one of the first things that I'm drinking. I don't have it at any other time throughout the day, never. All I have is a bone broth. And for me, that is the cue that tells me, okay, Mark, it's time to fucking lock in and get into your deep work, okay? So I want to be like really, really clear. The cue that you create can't be related to anything else. It has to only be related to the addiction that you're trying to create. Now, again, I want you guys to keep in mind, if you really want to become addicted, you can't mess up any of these rules. Because again, an addiction is something, once you go through that behavior, it brings you to your baseline. It brings you to homeostasis. A lot of people on this planet, in fact, a lot of people probably watching this video right now, you guys are probably addicted to something like caffeine or to nicotine. Now, the reason that you're addicted to that is because you literally feel off if you don't have caffeine, or you literally feel off until you have nicotine. That's why so many people are addicted to coffee or addicted to energy drinks or addicted to pre-workout or whatever, because you don't really feel like your day's really started or like you're ready to do anything until you have that thing. That's why these compounds are so freaking powerful. I mean, nicotine is one of the most powerful compounds on the planet, one of the most addictive on the planet, because simply the absence of that thing causes you to go into like almost a withdrawal, right? So that's what you want to aim to create with these habits. So now that you guys kind of understand how addictions really work, now the question becomes, how do I create these addictions that are likely to make me more money? And I want to go over 2 examples, okay? So the first, one of the most powerful things that anybody watching this video right now can actually introduce to make themselves more money is going to be to go into deep work, but specifically centering that deep work around something that is likely to make you more money. And so for me, one of those activities is writing what I like to call high impact copy. So the reason that I call it high impact copy is because you can write all types of copy. You can write emails, you can write VSLs, you can write ads, whatever you're writing. There's only a few types of copy that are actually going to significantly move your business forward. And that's going to be either VSLs, sales letters, or ads. All right. Those are typically the highest impact types of copy that you could ever write. And so for me, the thing that really gets myself into that phase, the cue for me, is having that bone broth in the morning, because I do my deep work as soon as I wake up. I was just talking to one of my friends not too long ago, and he's like, I think I got myself addicted to working earlier in the morning. I was like, well, how did you do that? And what he said was that as soon as he wakes up, he basically beelines it for his laptop to get working. So the cue for him is literally waking up. Like he is trying to minimize the distance between the time that he wakes up and the time that he is at his laptop working. So that is his cue. His cue is literally waking up. For me, it's waking up and getting that bone broth. Because as soon as I taste that, it's a signal to my brain that I'm ready to work on the highest impact copy that I possibly can. So again, for me, the cue is that bone broth. And then obviously after that, the routine is going to be actually going through and writing the copy. So then the question becomes, if I want to complete this, what would step number 3 be? Well, step number 3 is a reward. So what do I do after I actually write the copy? It's going to seem super backwards, but what I actually do is typically I'm doing deep work for anywhere from like 2 to 4 hours. So after I do my initial batch of copy and I've completed it, what I do is I want to signal to my brain to release dopamine. So what I do is I actually consume caffeine. That is basically going to be the reward. So I literally reward myself with caffeine. Again, I say this all the time, but like the more that you can center your life around you being like a video game character and you have to level them up, what I'm basically telling my brain is I have to earn the caffeine. Like I'm not going to have caffeine first thing in the morning because I haven't earned anything. But if I wake up and I feel good and I have that bone broth and I start writing, eventually I'm going to get into that deep flow state, just start pumping out amazing quality copy and reward myself with the caffeine, because I don't want to give myself rewards before I've actually earned them. So that's one of the habits that I've personally implemented, is just writing that really high impact copy for my business. Now, another thing I was thinking when I was making this list, I was like, how can I make this as valuable as possible? And what else is it that I personally do that is a highly addictive behavior? And I was thinking of myself and a few of my, really, really rich friends. And one of the things that I was thinking of is basically what I like to call educational consumption. Now, the reason I named it this is because I believe that some of the most successful people in the world, they're always consuming new information as it relates to them making more money in their business. Now, this could be reading a book. This could be listening to a podcast. This could be watching a very specific interview or quality information on YouTube, like this video that you're watching right now. I really believe that the most successful people in the world, they are actually consuming, but they're very, 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 very particular with what information it is that they are consuming. And so in this case, what would be the cue? What would be the routine? And what would be the reward for educational consumption? Well, I'm thinking of myself in this case. One of the cues for me is actually after I've completed my deep work. I actually am having the caffeine. So this is like rolling into the next habit, right? So if I have the caffeine, that now is going to be the cue for me to know that it's time to fucking learn. It's time to read, or it's time to consume a podcast or an interview or something like that, right? So then the next step is going to be the actual activity itself, which let's just say in this case, it's like reading a book, right? So now we have the actual routine, and the final step in this case is the reward, right? So at this point, basically giving you guys my whole fucking morning routine at this point, which is very boring, but very, very highly effective. The reward in this case would be eating food. So I don't eat food for typically the first 3 to 4 hours of my morning, but when you do eat food, your brain also releases a lot of what? A lot of dopamine. And so this is another way that I trigger the reward system, is simply with food. It doesn't have to be like gummy bears like in the previous example. It can just be any food, because at this point it's been like 3 or 4 hours I've been awake. I'm getting a little hungry and I've had nothing to eat. No matter what it is that I eat, my brain is going to release a lot of dopamine. These are 2 addictions that you can create in your life basically to start making more money. It's to focus on a high money making task for me, but something that I'm super passionate about, that I love doing, that also makes me a lot of money, is writing copy, specifically writing VSLs or writing ads. And then number 2, it's going to be to actually learn more information that is going to add value to my life in some way. So that could be a book, that could be podcasts, YouTube videos, whatever. I just call it educational consumption, because I have a close friend of mine that's worth probably like around $50 million, and he buys books, but I can tell you this right now, he doesn't fucking read them. He really just has them in the background of his videos, for no reason. But what he does do is he consumes a metric fuckload of podcasts, specifically podcasts listening to the stories of founders and their trials, tribulations, their lessons, everything that they learned. And for him, that's great. That's the method of consumption that works best for him. Like reading a book is not going to make you rich in the same way that watching a podcast is. But I believe that ideas in equals ideas out. If you can game it in the way that you literally become addicted to learning, how can you lose? Honestly, how can you fucking lose at that point if you're constantly addicted to learning? And so again, the more that you can think about it this way and actually create addictions that serve you instead of addictions that take away from your life, the faster you're going to be able to make money. There's a really good quote that goes like this: the man who loves walking will always walk further than the man who loves the destination. And so think about it this way: if you're addicted to walking, instead of being addicted to the destination, who do you think is going to go farther? Obviously the guy that's addicted to the inputs, because you can control your inputs, you can't control your outputs. So that's what I wanted to show you guys in this video.
Dude.
By the way, I'm launching this Telegram broadcast channel, basically sharing a lot of stuff like this that I don't share on YouTube. So if you're interested, just just hit the first link in the description. You can check it out. It's totally free. Just another way for you to consume information if you like me or you want to see me flex my traps on Telegram. But that's it for this video. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
My name's Jordan, and this is the story of how I went from a broke kid literally living off of food stamps to making over $6 million from the internet in around 5 years. I grew up with a single mom making less than $20,000 a year, and now I own 2 7-figure businesses. I just sold one of them last year. I moved into my dream house here in Miami. I have the car that I always wanted. I bought my mom a car. I bought my sister a car. I have a multi-6-figure investment portfolio. Basically, I built the life that I always wanted for myself. But my journey has been extremely challenging. I didn't have it easy, and I'm gonna share it all in this video. Even some stuff I've never shared before in my life. This video is not to brag. Ultimately, my goal with this video is to serve as some inspiration for those of y'all who are coming from a difficult situation like the one I came from. So let's get started. Growing up, it was just me, my mom, and my sister. My dad, he wasn't really around, so my mom was forced to raise the both of us, and as a result, we didn't really have that much money. In fact, for many years, we didn't even have a house of our own. But
Are you really the last person to find out about this skip ads forever button? This is Pi, and if it sounds familiar to you, it's probably because you've seen their ads.
Why am I like scared? This was pre-drop and we were. Oh shit. Mama! Y'all are going crazy. 100 orders in 2 minutes! SRCs, nigga come pull up on me. Drive the car fast, do the dash, it make my coochie leak. Real bad bitch, sitting pretty, 1,000 for the week. Fingernails exotic, got look cute when I'm smoking weed. Track hog, say he wanna eat it, but that shit important. Good morning, guys, and welcome to the day in a life of a entrepreneur dropping a $100,000 clothing brand. So this is going to be interesting. I know I said $100,000. That's the goal. I don't even know if our inventory adds up to that much, but as you guys know, me and my business partner, my best friend Carson, have been working a long time. You guys have seen it in a lot of vlogs. You guys have heard me talk about it all over my Instagram, all over my TikTok. We've been working on a clothing brand, and this has been 5 months now coming along. We had the idea. We both absolutely love the fashion shit. We both love wearing clothes. We both love putting shit on. And it got to the point where we were like, man, why are we spending all this money on clothes when we could just make clothes that we want in the first place? And that's when we really were just like, okay, fuck it. Let's just start a clothing brand. And it started as a passion project of us just making different samples and different clothes, and we were like, bet, like, let's just rock this. And we were rocking it for like a month or two, and then we were like, yo, should we maybe like make this? And then that's what led us here today, where we wanted to make this a clothing brand instead of just buying and wearing our samples. Because at that point we were like, damn, like it actually costs just as much to make a sample for our clothing brand as it does to buy designer clothes. So like we're kind of in the same situation that we were before. So that leads us to pretty much today. We have all of our inventory. I'm not in Miami right now. I'm in Puerto Rico because I had to get some new furniture in the new crib. But, sorry, I'm like literally in underwear right now. It's kind of nasty. You guys did not see that, but that was crazy. But anyways, I was about to say furniture. All the clothes are sitting in Miami right now, and we did our first little initial launch with friends and family because there was a lot more hype about this than I expected. So let me grab my phone real quick and I can give you guys, or try and give you guys, the numbers of what we've been doing so far. We had a friends and family drop where we pretty much
Oh
just
my
sent it
God,
to our
bro.
friends and fam, and that was on, I believe, the 19th. Today is the 21st. Yeah, so we made 14, I don't know if you guys can see this. We made $14,000 on the friends and family drop. So we sent this to pretty much like everybody that we know that has been supporting us along this journey and who's our friends and family, and said like, yo, we're dropping our clothing brand. If you want to pick up some pieces. We didn't realize the hype would be as big as it was for this drop because the hype was a lot. And we'll see if it lives up to the name today when we do the official drop. But there's just we think the shit's gonna sell out, so this is your chance to get in like 2 days early. So we made $14,000 on that, and then following that, we did a mini, or I did a mini kickstream launch, and that severely fucked things up. Not necessarily in a bad way. It's not horrible. But we ended up selling $26,000.
Dude, that shit's so bad, bro. Like, how can he hit me from farther than I can, and then he's just, I can't get away from him, bro. He's just constantly fucking chasing me around the fucking ring, dude. Like, I can't do anything fucking about it.
Honestly,
like, I can't push him away or anything.
I'm completely satisfied, but now I'm getting a little bit.
And I have less stamina than him. He hits to throw just unlimited strikes.
I'm not gonna make any money from this. We put a shit ton of money into the brand, and now that we see how many people fuck with our clothes and fuck with everything, like we already have Capsule 2 ready to go and ready to like get pushed.
Dude just gets to throw unlimited amount of hooks, and I can't fucking dodge them, even though.
Don't worry, because Capsule 2 we're doing way more inventory, and we're going to be way more on top of our shit because this time around we did not think this shit through correctly, at least. So we'll see.
Let me fucking leave. It's so delayed. Whatever. I guess we're fucking playing delayed.
Revenue for the drop. I think we can do it, but I feel like my ride or die people, the like mini kick drop, like those were the main people that were going to cop. So I'm thinking, I don't know. It could kind of go either way. I'm bullish, but it could go either way. Regardless, I'm insanely happy with the outcome of what we've already done. We literally hit like $30,000. Me and Carson were talking about this. We were like, yeah, if we make $30,000, then, okay, well, we didn't break even, I guess, because we spent like, not on just like the clothes, but like to set everything up and whatever. So like, we've spent like $50,000 to $60,000 on the whole business at this point in time. But we said on drop one, if we were able to do $30,000, like we would be satisfied, and we already did that.
Oh my god, dude! Like,
so we're happy.
Then it lags mid-knee.
The pre-drop went, and hopefully the main big drop can live up to the hype that we think there is. So there's actually not much inventory left either. There's only like 3 more XL hoodies left. There's the hoodies are the main source of attraction. We're dropping at 3 p.m. today, and I'll take you guys through like the whole process with me. I'll be on FaceTime or probably Discord with Carson, our graphic designers, just to see how the shit goes. And yeah, I'm really excited to see where this shit takes us, but we gotta do what I'm good at first, and that's day trade. So I'm going to chug this water, I'm going to drink my coffee, I'm going to go tan my balls outside if I have time. Yeah, I got 20 minutes. I'm gonna go outside, butt ass naked, tan my shit, and then I'm going to get on the charts, all right? Let's get into the day of a multi-trillion-dollar clothing brand. Yo, how are we doing? Say what's up to the stream. Yo. All right, we got Trade Wars getting ready to get started. I'm also looking to take a trade today. Chat's going crazy.
They hit him twice as much.
OT dub.
Hit him twice
Wipe my
as
ass
much.
with the t-shirt. All right, bro. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead, start trading. I'll let you guys know if I make any money, if I lose any money, and yeah, hop on stream now. We just wrapped up streaming for the day. Bros, look at price action. Obviously, no trades were taken. But bro, like how is one supposed to trade this? There was only, bro, market open 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, pretty much a doji. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 black candles. Like in a fucking row. Yes, it wasn't as bad, but still. Like, bro, market opened and then went down. Jeez, bro, 0.65%. NASDAQ opened and went down 0.95%. This week has been very unforgiving in the market. Not that it hasn't been hard to trade. Well, no, it has been hard to trade, but it's not because I've been taking trades and because I've been losing. It's because I haven't taken any trades this week at all because the market is just being unforgiving. Like, market literally just opens and then crashes. Like, I think Trump being in office is causing the markets to just be insanely volatile right now. I mean, it is what it is, but me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of what's been going on in the markets as of recently. Trump, we need you to patch the markets. Everybody thought you were going to be good for the markets. As of right now, you have not been so favorable. But it's also because we have like a whole bunch of speakers and shit, and there's like a lot of news events that are happening this month, but still, come on, bro. Anyways, I am about to get on some phone calls for Killtech, make sure everything is locked in and in line. And then we are going to go grab lunch, come back here, and hope and pray we can make one of those videos of me like sitting here, ready of like me sitting here and like getting the Shopify dings and being like, congratulations, son, you're number 1. And I'm like Kai Cenat, congratulations, son. You made it. And then I'm like, oh. It hits a little bit different when like you haven't made it yet. Not saying that I've made it. Well, I mean, I've definitely done extremely well for myself at a young age, but it hits a little bit different when you're broke and then like you do something really crazy like this to make you like a bunch of money. But also Kai Cenat was already rich when his mom called him and said, congratulations, son, you're number 1. Maybe I might tell my mom to call me and say, congratulations, son, you dropped a clothing brand. Congratulations, son. What could she say that would be good for a clip? Congratulations, son. Congratulations, son. You're officially from Atlanta. Congratulations, son. You're a trench baby now. Congratulations, son. I don't know. We gotta think of something. Where's the announcement, like, congratulations, you're a crypto millionaire? Or like, where's my certificate? You know? I mean, I guess the money in the bank account is the certificate, but I want like an announcement from somebody that's like crying over the phone or some shit. Or no, my congratulations, son, will be the Shopify dings. That's the classic ATL hood glitch clip. Bet. I'm gonna do I'm gonna make sure my ringer's on when we drop. Okay, boom. Shopify, get ready. I'm gonna put tears in my eyes and I'm gonna do the Shopify dings and I'm gonna start crying and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I can't believe we made it so far. Been working my entire life for this. No, I haven't. I've literally been only working 5 months. Well, damn, that's actually a long time. I might start crying. It actually has been a lot of hard work. Damn. I'm just kidding. Let's go for our walk. Hello, Slime Life Mafia. Let's go for a walk now. I just wrapped up my call with my assistant, which went great, and we have Killtech ready. Come on, bro. This damn thing. Focus on me. God, come on. Look at me, man. Fuck, dude. This FedEx sticker is stuck to my door. I got them Bottega sneakers dropped in. You know what I'm saying? We're going on our walk to get some steps in because I haven't been able to work out because of my surgery. It's been mad annoying, actually. Yo, is this thing broken? Yo! What the fuck? Stay locked in, twin. Lock in. Lock in on me. God. Dumbass camera, bruh. Anyways, we're going for a walk now. And we're gonna make some TikToks. Let everybody know that Kiltech is dropping. Yo, peep the Brabus. It needs to get washed so fucking bad. Big baller beastie. Yeah. It needs to get washed really bad. The tires are how I know. Needs to get washed. And then my Can-Am's just out on the street. But we're gonna go take this walk. We're wearing our fucking 1-800 bankroll chain and Kiltech because we gotta rep the set before drop day. Make sure everybody knows to get themselves a piece. But I'm gonna go ahead and make some TikToks. We're gonna get going, and after that, head to lunch, and then it's the big drop. The big drop on this cock. Finished up all of that shit. Let me turn off this shit. Hold on. I need to go pick up mail. I gotta go pick up mail in Old San Juan, bro. I forgot about that shit. Yeah, damn it. Do you guys like the shades, though? Louis V frames. It's actually so dark in here, I literally can't even see with these on. Let me plug this battery nacket in. Peep the bedroom. Hey, new and improved. New and improved. We got a new sofa. We got a new rug. We got a new table right here. Imagine me just right here. Sorry, that was bad. Damn, I smell so fucking bad, bro. I am actually reeking. Oh yeah, look at this new mirror that I got too. Drip check, Kiltech, Louis V, 1-800 bankroll. What else do you need? What else do you actually need at this point in time? Literally nothing, bro. You literally don't need anything else besides Louis V frames, 1-800 bankroll chain, and a Kiltech soccer jersey. Like, straight up. Okay, I think I'm ready to go to lunch. We are officially dropping in T-minus 2 hours and 30 minutes. Let's go grab lunch. Let's get back here. Let's get on Discord with the squadron. Man, I'm excited. I'm super excited for this shit, bro. If we don't end up making any money, it's gonna be lame. Let's rip the Brabus, bro. I haven't ripped this shit in a minute. It's always so weird coming back from Miami. I love having 2 whips in 2 different locations because it's like, it really does make you appreciate it a lot more. Cause when I'm not in Puerto Rico, or when I'm in Puerto Rico, I'm like, damn, this is just like a regular ass whip or whatever. But when I'm in Miami, I'm thinking like, oh wow, I miss the Brabus. And then when I'm in Puerto Rico, I'm like, damn, I miss the rolls. But right now, I miss this shit. Come on. Yo. This bitch is popping. I miss this shit, bruh. This really is such a good looking car. You know what's funny? There's like a lot of Lamb trucks in this neighborhood. There's a lot of Urises in this neighborhood. And every time, there's this one slime green Urus, and every time I pass by it, I'm like, fuck, dude, do I trade this thing in for a Urus? Cause like, a Urus isn't better. This is way more unique, right? But, I don't know. Every now and then, a guy just needs a little switch up, you know? So, I don't know. I've been thinking about potentially swapping the Brabus out for a Urus. Why do I have panda eyes, bro? You guys know that one conspiracy theory where like, so if celebrities have like big black eye bags under their eyes, it means they've been like fucked in the ass? Swear to God, look up conspiracy theory, panda eyes, or no, it's not celebrities, it's like artists. Like who was it? Like NBA Youngboy had panda eyes and everybody was like, he took dick in his ass, he took dick in his ass. I have panda eyes. I have not been sleeping that well, bruh. But, hey man, it's part of the game. When you're trying to get a bankroll, you gotta do that every now and then. Goals for this month, I haven't been able to trade too much. And luckily, you know, like we got the Kiltech drop going on, and I did cash out of a lot of my crypto 2 weeks ago, and I haven't really been looking at it, so that makes me feel good to just have like cash money in the bank, no longer in crypto, because crypto's just been like way too much stress for me. But yeah, I would really ideally like to get my trading numbers up this month, because I haven't taken many trades this week, like at all. The goal is to get those numbers up for real. I want to rotate a lot of the money that I've made in crypto this cycle, get it into my live account, and you know, start seeing what numbers we can fuck up on a daily basis. I mean, there was times where I was like doing not consistent 6-figure days, but you know, almost. And if I could, you know, slowly get back up to that level now that I'm exiting crypto, like that would be pretty good. In terms of other goals, obviously, like not just financial goals, because that's not what life is all about. Damn, man, I've done a lot of shit. I want to start going a little bit harder on YouTube. I know I say that all the time, and I know I do go hard on YouTube, but I want to go a little bit harder. Oh yeah, huge goal for me this month. I haven't even talked to you guys about it. I want to get shredded. I've been posting TikToks all about this, but huge goal for me is to get down to 10% body fat. I showed everybody what I looked like on stream, and I was like, take a clip of this before and after, whatever. And everybody was like, bro, you're already lean. But you guys always call me fat. So like, which one is it? Am I fat or am I lean? Because I said I wanted to cut down to 10% body fat, and you guys were like, oh, you're already lean. I'm not that lean. I'm like 18% body fat. So I mean, yeah, I don't have to lose much weight. I have to lose like 20 pounds, or like 18 to 20 pounds. Once I lose that weight, then I'll be like 10% body fat. And then the goal from there is to like lean bulk. I made dinner for myself last night, literally just like a pound of ground beef because I don't have any carbs. So I just did a pound of ground beef and I ate like 5 pickles. I know that sounds like so gay. Like, oh, what'd you have for dinner? Oh, I just had a pound of meat and I shoved 5 pickles down my throat. But that's literally what I did. So there's that. I'm trying to get lean. I'm trying to get healthy. That's why I've been going on my walks. The goal is to go on a walk every single day to hit all 10,000 of my steps. That's my problem, is like I'm sitting at a desk all day, and I'm sitting right now. I'm just sitting all day long. And I feel like most people are sitting all day long. And if we can just walk more, just ramp that cardio up a little bit more, we'll all be healthier and we'll all be in better shape. But I'm kind of putting myself in a vicious, I'm doing an aggressive ass cut right now. Yesterday, I only ate 2,300 calories, which is not a lot whatsoever. And I think I'm going to eat the same. I'm tracking calories again, so I think I'm going to only eat 2,300 calories today, and I just want to aggressively cut. And I don't care if I lose muscle. Honestly, I kind of like the skinny boy look. Lean is law, bro. Lean is law. Skinny boy summer, for real. I'm so used to being like kind of a unit, not fat. I know even though you guys all call me fat, I'm used to just being like, just kind of like puffed up, you know? And I don't fuck with that shit anymore. I want to be shredded as fuck. I want to look like Brad Pitt from Fight Club. I want to look like Brad Pitt from Fight Club. And also a part of this is, bro, my brother is, swear to God, he's 6% body fat right now. Swear to fucking God. He has ab veins that go from literally under his waistline, that go from, this isn't even on gay shit. He's my brother, so obviously it's not on gay shit, but bro, next vlog, I need to show you guys, this sounds horrible, but next vlog, I'm showing you guys what my brother looks like with his shirt off, because it's actually retarded how jacked he is. It's actually ridiculous, and it pisses me off. And when I went to visit him in Arizona, when was that? Like a week ago? Bro, I was so fucking pissed. He's the reason why I'm cutting. Real shit. He's the reason why I'm cutting, because he is so fucking jacked and literally had ab veins crawling from his, he had an ab vein that went from underneath his waistline all the way up to his chest and wrapped around his shoulder, bro. How is that possible? And he's not even competing. He doesn't do bodybuilding. He doesn't do powerlifting. He fucking works for me, bro. He fucking works for me, and I'm thinking, how the first of, yeah, maybe performance review. Matter of fact, we got to do performance reviews. How do you have enough time how do you have enough time to be that jacked, that shredded, and also that fucking ripped while working for me, huh? Been spending way too much time in the gym and not enough time in the chair. How come I'm barely able to get 10,000 steps in a day, and you're able to do all this, huh? Yeah, we need to do a performance review, for sure. I'm glad that I made this video because I'm thinking of that now. We're doing a performance review for him, literally starting tomorrow, bro. We gotta see how many hours he's putting in per day, because with that, again, no homo, with how built he is, there's just no fucking way that he isn't in the gym 24/7. It's just not possible. It pisses me off. So yeah, moral of the story, I'm going to get jacked because my brother's fucking huge and he made me self-conscious as shit when I saw him a week ago. Lean is law. Now and it's kind of ironic that I'm saying all this while I'm headed to lunch, but I've done intermittent fasting. It's 1:30 and I haven't ate anything yet, so we're going to go eat some food. I'm freaking starving. Let's get it. We are once again back in the beautiful Dorado fucking beach. Let's go. Oh man, the only problem with the intermittent fasting shit is after like, I don't know, once I hit a certain threshold, I start getting like really hangry, and not only hangry, I can be getting dizzy because I haven't ate anything. And trust me, I'm drinking water. I drank a full liter water bottle with electrolytes this morning, and I drank my coffee, but when I'm talking a lot and after doing my 10,000 step walk, I know I sound like a baby, but like right now I'm kind of lightheaded, kind of dizzy. It also doesn't help that it's so hot out here, you know? It is what it is, man. We're going to get some food. I'll re-up on coffee for sure because I need to be dialed for this drop, make sure everything goes to plan. Make sure I can get my mama we made it clip. And yeah, bro, it's also hard because I'm in a caloric deficit. I didn't even realize that. Like, oh yeah, no wonder you're tired and weak. Haven't been eating shit. Yeah, the game plan here, I can't get my regular like chicken, like breaded chicken with asparagus. I mean, I could, but the sauce is just a little bit too expensive on the calories, so I might have to rock with the salmon. We'll see what I end up getting. That's what I got yesterday. I just got salmon and Brussels sprouts. I might have to do like, I don't know, I want to mix it up, but I can't do like potatoes or anything, even though that shit sounds like absolutely incredible right now. We shall see. I'll let you guys look at the menu. Let me know what you guys would order off this shit. All right, we got a mahi-mahi, just plain, straight up. We got all of these vegetables, and then we got tuna tartare. I don't know if you guys can see this shit, but yeah, we actually got just a whole bunch of fish today, so I'm about to crush. I'm really starving. The food took forever to come out, so let me do actually, nah, fuck that. I'll do a gas or ass once I've actually taken a couple bites. All right, let me dive into this. Absolute destruction work. I know you guys weren't able to tell how quick that shit was. I ate that shit in literally, it was probably like 2 minutes. Like I turned the shit off and then all of that shit was gone. I didn't eat any of the Brussels sprouts because I don't like the way that they're cooked, but the zucchini was super gas. I love zucchini. I ate all of the mahi-mahi. I ate all the tuna tartare. I ate 2 of the little wonton crisps because they just look too damn good, but whole bunch of protein, not much carbs. I think I'm going to go home and make myself like a mini bowl of blueberries or some shit with some honey, because like I'm still kind of lightheaded and dizzy. I think it's just because blood sugar's low, but yeah, we're gonna get out of here. It actually took way longer than expected, and once all this shit's said and done, we can hop on here and see if we can actually make a bag from the clothing brand. Alrighty, we are going to get going back to the crib to prep for this launch. We launch in an hour 20, so hey man, this is super exciting. Again, the goal is $100,000 on the drop. If we're able to do that, then that means we sold out of everything. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's a possibility. Shit. Oh my god. Y'all hearing this shit? Oh my goodness. Never mind. I do not need a Urus, bro. Fuck. There's no SUV. Yeah, that's what I was missing, bro. That's where I fucked up. That's where I messed up, for real. I wasn't stomping on the gas. And I didn't put the shit into Sports Plus. That's what I was doing incorrectly. Why did I want a Urus, bro? What was I thinking? This shit is way better than a Urus. I can't believe I can't believe I even said that in a video. That's actually embarrassing that I said that shit. Never again. Yeah, I wanted you guys to hear this shit. Oh yeah, for everybody asking where Boogie's at, it's because I came home from Miami like yesterday, and I go back to Miami tomorrow, so I didn't want Boogie to come home from the dog sitter for like 2 days, be super happy that I'm back, and then like just send him back to the dog sitter. So we're thinking about him, even though I really want to see him and I miss him like crazy because I haven't seen him for like literally a week and a half, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a lot to me. We have to have him stay at the dog sitter for a couple more days while I go back to Miami, get all these orders shipped out. Carson's been putting in fucking work, bro. I told him not to do it. I literally told him like, yo, when I go back to Puerto Rico, you better not do shit, because I don't want like you to be doing more work while I'm like just out here in Puerto Rico. And then he ended up, and then he ended up just packing literally every single order that we got yesterday. So shout out to him. He's been grinding on this shit. Definitely would never be able to do this shit without his help at all, because of how busy I am, and he's a busy person too. We're both grinding on this shit. So yeah, man, it's exciting stuff. I'll get back to the crib, I'll hop on a call with Carson and our graphic designers, and we're gonna go ahead and drop this shit and hopefully make a Mama We Made It clip. This is my favorite, just straight away. Ripping this bitch. Alright, bros. I figured I was talking enough shit about myself where I might as well do like a physique reveal. That sounds gay as shit, but you get what I'm saying. I gotta show you guys what I'm looking like prior to the cut. And the goal is for you guys just to say I'm looking fat. Just say, damn TJR, you look like you gained weight. Just keep, because every time I see that shit, it pisses me the fuck off. And back when I was fat, and you guys would say like, damn TJR, you look fat, the shit pissed me off. So if you guys just keep saying, damn TJR, you look fat while I'm losing weight, it'll piss me off even more, and it'll help me stay in my deficit. So there you go. Just say it. I look fat. This is what we're dealing with, okay? Big X the fucking plug physique. I'm looking fat. And on that note, I made myself some yogurt and some blueberries because I'm fucking lightheaded. And Kiltech launches in 20 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and get on the computer and get ready to make my Mama I Made It clip, I hope. Okay, it's officially 12 minutes to drop, and why am I like scared? Why do I feel nervous? I was making jokes about this all day, but I'm like, I'm not scared, but I'm like nervous. I have like the excited, nervous, like butterflies in my stomach feeling. This is how nervous I am. I literally am making the story for it right now to say that Kiltech is officially live. Okay, damn, this actually is like it's not emotional. I didn't think I would feel this way though. I didn't think that this would feel as big of a deal. Like I'm looking at the home screen, the website that we made, and I don't know, like it's just exciting to see all of the hard work that we've put in over these past 5 months, kind of come into fruition. And I was making jokes about this talk, and I was making jokes about the Mama We Made It speech this entire day. And now it feels hypocritical. But this is a Mama We Made It moment. Because this is just something way different that I've just wanted to do. And it doesn't have to do with trading, like, at all. And it finally gives people who aren't into trading and just like watching my vlogs and just like watching my content the opportunity to just fucking engage with me and a company that I now own, and like they can appreciate like something that I can give the world, I guess, like even if they're not a trader. Like a lot of people, they show a lot of love to me because it's like, oh, you taught me how to day trade, oh, you turned me profitable, your YouTube channel helped me so much. Like I get those messages all the time, and it's just because I've helped them with trading, and that's really cool. But I know that trading is a super small community, and I know, like, I got fucking like 625,000 followers on Instagram, and I know that not all of those people are day traders. So it's super cool to be able to give, I guess now, every single person the opportunity to like do something, or just make a company and a brand that's like cool for everybody to enjoy. Not just like, oh, if you like this skill, or if you want to become a trader, like those are the only people that can fuck with me. And that's kind of how it was for, bro, the whole 2 years that I've been on social media. And now, after doing this shit for a long time, I've finally been able to make a company and make something like that's just completely outside of trading. And this is my first time attempting to do something like this. And I mean, just off of like the pre-launch, it went really well. And now we have 8 minutes until we officially go live, and it's all starting to come together. I mean, shit, 5 months ago, I did not think that we would come this far. As corny as that sounds, I did not think that we would have this dope of a website, this high demand for clothes that me and my best friend made. Like, that's fucking crazy to me. That me and my best friend were able to sit down together. I'm literally wearing clothes that I made, and other people really want those clothes because they think they're dope. Like, that is super fucking cool to me. That is fascinating to me. Not only is it fascinating, it's awesome to be able to like share this is like a creative project. Like, trading is like whatever, a niche hobby, not even hobby. I mean, it's my job, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I love trading. Like, trading is like a nerdy thing for me. And like, only a couple people can relate to that. Just being an absolute nerd about trading. But this is like, I can be creative and I can make like whatever, like a fucking crazy t-shirt that I think is dope. And now I'm seeing like, damn, other people think what I think is dope too. And it's honestly super cool to see. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how this drop goes, but regardless, I already told you guys, like, we already hit like our goal, which was $30,000, and we already hit that with the kick launch. So that was super cool. The kick and the friends and family launch, we already got those orders shipped out. Again, we have the product on hand. So for capsule 2, whenever that comes around, hopefully that happens in like, I don't know, a month and a half. We already have capsule 2 like solidified. You guys have seen some of the pieces. Maybe at the end of this video, I leak a couple pieces that we're doing in capsule 2, but we just got to wait for the samples to come in. We got to make sure the quality's good. We got to make sure the dimensions are good. And then from there, boom, we'll be ready to do it all over again. And depending on how well this drop goes, like if we sell out of everything this drop, like, yo, we might have to up the inventory like ASAP. And to me, that's super fucking cool. If you guys want to stay tuned to all of this, like, I know I post on my Instagram occasionally about Killtech, and you guys will see it in vlogs and stuff, but if you guys want to be like fully a part of the brand and you guys just watch these vlogs because you guys fuck with me and like just fuck with the type of shit that I'm doing, go follow Killtech on Instagram. It's just KILLTEC. And sign up to the SMS list, sign up to the email list so you guys know when drops are coming, so you guys can get early friends and family access, because again, there's literally only 2 XL hoodies left before we're even dropping the first drop, which is crazy. I know I said there was 3 this morning. My friend from college wanted me to buy him one. So I did. Shout out to Jay Settles. But yeah, bro, this is super crazy, and You know, hopefully we can give more people the opportunity to rock cool ass drip in the future, and that's the plan with this company. And yeah, with that being said, we got 5 minutes left to launch, so I'll see you guys, I guess, once that time comes around. This is crazy, brothers. I know it sounds dumb, but there's 240 live visitors on site right now, which is cool, and it hasn't even dropped yet. It drops in like literally a couple seconds. I'm waiting to post the Instagram story right now. Oh man, this is scary, bro. It's scary. I gotta wait for this shit to hit 3 p.m. and it's like I'm like a kid on Christmas right now. It's crazy, bro. All right, I just posted. Let's see if sales start coming through. Let me see once this shit gets uploaded. Okay, cool. Shit got uploaded. 300 site visitors. Let me show you guys what the site looks like. This was pre-drop. Then if we oh shit. Mama! 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 Congratulations, son. Congratulations, son. You number one. Damn. 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 Oh my god. Y'all are going crazy. Oh my god, y'all are going crazy. Y'all are going crazy. Oh my god, y'all are going crazy! Mama! Oh my god. Oh, that's more dings than I've even heard Quan hit, bro. Oh my god. Y'all are crazy, bro. Y'all are fucking crazy, bro. Y'all are fucking crazy. Bro, we're literally going to be sold out. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god, bro. Y'all are crazy. 93 orders. And it's only been 2 minutes. How much product do we have left? 100 orders in 2 minutes, bro. I gotta text Carson. Oh my god, y'all are so crazy, bro. Man, bro, bless the fuck up, bruh. Not even like obviously I don't need this money, but like this is just such a cool experience. Like I was telling you guys, like to hear that noise and know that that is a singular person or multiple people that fuck with a creative project that me and my best friend went forward and put time, effort, money, and patience into and created this whole team, bro. It's insane. It's actually, like I'm literally getting goosebumps because of how crazy this is. It feels really fucking good, bro, to be able to do this. I know I'm saying like for you guys, but bro, this is insane. I did not think the support would be this fucking crazy. I really did not think the support would be this fucking crazy. Insane, bro. Insane, bro. I'm telling y'all, Killtech's about to be the hottest fucking brand. Hottest fucking brand coming out of 2025. I can promise you that. Follow Killtech on Instagram. Y'all are about to see the craziest shit. Y'all are about to see the craziest shit come through, bro. I swear to God. And that's the thing, too. Like, we literally we didn't buy a lot of inventory because we were just like, this was just a passion project. We were just like, fuck it, bro. Like, let's just do this and see how it goes. And now we're seeing how it's going. And bro, this is turning into and will be like a fucking worldwide brand. Y'all are going crazy, bro. 150 orders in 5 minutes. 150 orders in 5 minutes. Y'all are insane, bro. Y'all are insane, dude. I know all these other guys are doing way more than that, and they're making way more money, but it's not about the money for me. I mean, like, obviously, I make a shit ton of money elsewhere, and that's why we were able to deliver such a good product, such a good website, have inventory on hand. Like, I think that's what made the difference and what made this drop so special was we were able to spend $10,000 on a website. We were able to spend $10,000, $20,000 on perfecting samples, on making sure like our graphic designers are top of the top. We were able to pay like more money for higher quality shit. We were able to actually have the inventory on hand. We were able to actually have the inventory on fucking hand, like when we do the drop. All of these orders are going to get shipped out. I'll add it to the vlog of us shipping out all of these orders within a week, bro. It's very rare that you can find any other clothing company that starts on their first drop to be able to do something like this. And I think that's why, I mean, you're hearing it, bro. I think that's why we were able to have the success that we did, not only for the followers that I have on here and on TikTok and on Instagram and everywhere, but I think it's because of the time and effort that we put in to make sure that this was a super solid first launch. I really couldn't have asked for a better launch. I really couldn't have, bro. This is crazy. I really did not think we were going to have 200 orders in 7 minutes, bro. And that's just off of, bro, and that's just off of an IG post, bro. Bro, we spent $9 on ads because we were warming up our ad account. We spent $9 on ads. That shows the power of a personal brand. That shows the power of just having people, like, being good to people and having people fuck with you and being able to, like, deliver a product that people love and enjoy and are willing to spend money on. Absolutely insane, bro. This sound is fucking crazy to me. I cannot believe this. 8 minutes into the launch, bro. There's 1,000 live site visitors, bro. There's still 1,000 people on this shit. Crazy, bro. This shit is so crazy. Absolutely insane, bro. Hey, bro, I just want to say thank you guys. Like, if you guys ordered some drip, whether you guys are watching these vlogs, whether you guys are just a follower. If you guys aren't a follower, then you guys might as well follow me on all platforms. But for me, like, you guys gave me this opportunity. You guys didn't give me, like, the day trading opportunity. You guys didn't give me the crypto opportunity. But you guys gave me this opportunity. I would not be able to do this clothing brand without you guys. Like, we would not be having any of these sales if it weren't for you guys. We wouldn't have 10,000 followers on our Instagram if it wasn't for you guys. We wouldn't have 1,000 people on our site right now if it wasn't for you guys. So all of these dings, like, that is attributed to you. You guys made this possible. And this is one of the first times in my, like, social media career that I've been able to say that, you know, you guys are part of something that I'm able to put together and, like, become successful together. Like, you guys are now a part of this journey with me, and it's kind of cool that I'm able to actually do something like this that's outside of the trading space, that's for everybody that just wants to put on some cool ass clothes, bro. 10 minutes has gone by. We have done 220 orders since launch. After 10 minutes has gone by. We'll wait some time and then I'll follow up with you guys after like an hour or so, and we'll see, first of all, how much is left in stock, and second of all, if we were able to hit our goals. All right, guys, I'll see you guys in a bit.
Yeah, I know.
Bro.
The hoodies are, there's no double XL, XL, or large. There's 3 medium and 5 fucking smalls left.
Damn, bro, we started off the medium hoodies. There was like a solid amount left.
Yeah, bro, we just fucking, that shit literally looked like a meat coin. Like, is what the Shopify chart was looking like.
Bro, this shit's crazy. I did not expect it to go like that at all.
I'm not even gonna lie, bro. Like, I kind of fucking knew that shit. Once the shit hit 10K before we dropped, I was like, bro, that's just destiny.
Yeah, 225 orders though in 12 minutes. That's insane to me. That's crazy.
This shit's gonna be like an actual fucking money printer, bro. Come next drop when we can come in the shit with some more size.
Yeah.
Now, see what's going on. Like, fuck, bro. I'll fucking gamble more bread on this shit.
Yeah, bro. We gotta up the lot size.
Yeah, come in this bitch with some leverage.
Literally. But don't package any of the fucking orders until I come back, because I come back tomorrow. You can chill on that. All right, folks. After 1 hour of being dropped, including the friends and family launch, including the kick launch, we have officially done. This shit will show up. $86,295 in revenue. Now keep in mind, revenue is definitely not profit. All of these other clothing brand guys love, all these other clothing brand YouTubers, they love showing the Shopify thing as profit. It's like, boom, I made $1 million with my store. No, you didn't. You probably made like $400,000 with your store, which by all means, there's nothing to hate about that. I'm just saying, don't say you made $1 million. Say you made $400,000. Actually, you know what? There's a lot of people on Twitter that always post, I did $30 million in revenue with my clothing brand, or I did whatever $1 million in revenue. I'm gonna post that. I'm gonna post that shit on my Twitter. I'm gonna post a screenshot. Be like, I just made $86,000 today. What did you do? On some bullshit. 86K in 1 day, or actually not in 1 day, in 2 days. I made 86K in 2 days. Ask me anything. Like, bro, no, the fuck you didn't. Technically, I made 86K revenue over the course of 5 months, which is shit for my standards. Okay, so it's not that impressive, but pretty impressive for first launch. We sold out of pretty much every single one of the hoodies, which we knew was going to happen. We sold out of 2 sizes of the jersey. We sold out of 2 sizes of the Patrick Bateman tee. We haven't sold out of any of the white t-shirt yet. That's to be expected because it was like the most like basic t-shirt. But yeah, pretty successful first launch, and it's only an hour in. I mean, yeah, we're pretty close to that $100,000 mark. Oh yeah, by the way, we're not going to hit that because we gave out too many products. So we thought we would be able to hit it, but we can't because we gave out too many products. So with the amount of like hoodies, because hoodies, those cost us the most money, and those also cost the most to buy. We gave out a shit ton of hoodies, and honestly, it performed well because everybody wanted the hoodie. But also, it's like the hoodie is just dope, and that's definitely the most hyped up item for the drop. And there's definitely a lot of lessons learned from this. This is a new type of business that I'm like getting into and learning the ins and outs of, and it's fun to learn new lessons in this new business that like I suck at. And it's nice, like this is a learning experience for you guys, because when I came on social media, I was already good at trading, so it's easy for me to get on here and like tell you guys like, yo, do this, do that, do whatever with trading. And it's easy for you guys to just see that and be like, oh, he's so good. But now you guys can see like how I can actually gradually get better at a skill, or get better at doing this clothing brand shit, because I suck at it right now. Like, this is my first time doing it, and whenever it's somebody's first time doing anything, they're gonna fucking suck. And that's the beauty of life. Everybody sucks at something when they start, and the only way to get better at it is to just keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again. Keep falling on your fucking face, keep tripping over yourself, keep making huge mistakes, and guess what? Mistakes continue to happen no matter how good you get. No matter how good you get, you're always going to continue making mistakes. Michael Jordan, he misses game winners all the time. He misses shots all the time. LeBron James, he misses game winners more than Michael Jordan. He misses shots all the time. And these are considered the greatest of all time at their sport. And that's just part of life. we are human, we are imperfect. And for us to try and hold ourselves up to some level of perfection, it's not right, it's not just.
Are you really the last person to find out about this Skip Ads Forever button? This is Pi, and if it sounds familiar to you, it's probably because you've seen their ads everywhere, especially this one.
I've never shared my full story like this before, but today I'm going to sit down with you guys and share some things that I've never shared publicly. This is my entire journey from almost ending it to making over $10 million at 21 years old.
Wait till I get my money right. And you can't tell me nothing, right? Excuse me, was you saying something? You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing.
All right, so let's get right into it. We'll start off when I was a little ass jit. Okay, so a lot of what I wanted to become kind of stemmed from me being like a super reckless and kid that didn't like being told what to do. Unfortunately for me, I was living in a household that was a super strict household, and I was a part of a religion where it was pretty much, you know, they're going to tell you everything that you have to do, the do's and don'ts, and that's just kind of how it worked in my family. So already off of rip, like, I really did not want to have people bossing me around. I was super against any of that, and people will tell you that knew me when I was even like a little baby. I hated even being carried. Like, I would just get out of that. I always wanted to be on the move. I didn't want to be part of any of that, okay? So that already is just like the perfect telltale sign of, like, if you saw me as a kid, you would know, okay, this person is going to suck at a 9-to-5 job, and this person is not going to do too well with someone bossing them around. Moving on from that also led to some struggles with, you know, head clashing between me and my parents as I got older and deciding what I wanted to do, because as you guys know, I got into crypto at a super young age, and I got into trading at a young age. And as you guys also know, my parents and my family is super by the book. My great-grandparents started I wouldn't necessarily call it a famous private school, but I would say it's really well known within the Bay Area as having some of the top education in that place. And my dad now runs that school. So education is a really big deal within our family, and me, I wasn't the biggest school lover, as most of you guys are as well. You guys probably don't like school that much. You guys probably think, man, why am I learning this stuff? I was the exact same way. So again, heads were clashing, and this made it really difficult for me. On top of all of that, I had really bad mental health issues because, again, you know, when you're a kid, you get told what to do 24/7, and it's not necessarily things that you want to do, and you're dealing with like identity crisis. You don't necessarily know who you are as a person and who you want to be. That's a lot for a young kid trying to figure out everything within his life. So there was a lot of times where, I'm sure a lot of you guys have dealt with this before too, where, you know, there's nights where you're just like bawling, crying in your bed because, you know, you feel like you're just trapped, whether it's based on your parents' opinions on you, how they want you to grow up. Like, I know without a doubt in my mind that my parents, what they envisioned me to become as a human and as a man, I am almost the complete opposite of that. But at least now I've still made them proud. And I think if anybody is struggling with that sort of thing right now with your parents or any significant higher up person in your life, like my brother, I mean, bro, you're probably watching this. He now works for me, which is cool, but dude, he bullied me like when I was a kid, and it affected me really bad because I really looked up to my older brother. You know, all of that, like your parents telling you what to do and you not necessarily believing or understanding why they want you to do certain things, and then someone that you look up to as like a role model is saying like, hey, you suck at what you're doing, you're fat, you're this and that. It can do a lot of mental damage to yourself. So that's really where the entire journey started, was me having super bad mental health issues and kind of trying to figure out like, hey, who am I as a person? Who do I want to be? And how can I make all this stop? How can I figure this out? So I think from there, that was kind of when I was in like a super younger age, you know, like frontal lobe is not even like developed at that point in time. But as like high school starts coming along, I'm starting to, you know, kind of think for myself a little bit. And again, like I was saying, as a young kid, I was really rebellious. I didn't really like anything where people were to tell me to do something. So again, I went down a rabbit hole one day, you know, like on YouTube, and I'm kind of finding things out about the world, you know, it's like, oh, the Illuminati, all this stuff, you know, like beat the Matrix type of thing. And I'm like, man, I don't like that, but I kind of forget all about it. And then, as you guys know, I got introduced into crypto at a super young age, and I loved the thought about it because I was like, wow, this is saying fuck the banks, the banking system. The whole thing is a freaking scam. Like the higher ups are controlling everything. So I was all for it. Okay. And that's what really introduced me to the life that I live now, where it's like I live life on my own terms. No one's going to tell me what to do. And that was really what started to really like plant the seed for me to turn into the person that I am now. I still was struggling super heavily with mental health issues then, and even like years after that, like 4 years after that, I was still struggling with mental health issues until I actually like made it into the person that I wanted to be. But that was definitely like seed getting planted into my life, me finding out about crypto and me getting exposed to the crypto space, making a bunch of money as like a freshman and sophomore in high school. You know, that's a big deal. You know, I didn't tell anybody about the shit. It's honestly kind of nice when you have a lot more money than people think you do, and you know, you can just be kind of cruising underneath everybody's radar, but still that was part of the issue with the mental health. So again, on top of that, I'm making money, and then from there I'm like, okay, cool, let's look into this more, because if I'm being completely honest, I got really fucking lucky with the crypto shit at an early age, right? Like, if we're being completely honest, I probably shouldn't have made that money in the first place. It was off of dumb luck. It was off of somebody telling us about crypto, or, you know, telling us as a football team about crypto. And from there, like, I was the only one that bought into it. I was the only one because of, like, my thought process. I was really against anybody telling me what to do. And I was like, boom, this is right up my alley. I really like the idea of this. So from there, boom, dumb lucky. Made some money. Guess what I did? Did I save it? Did I invest it? Obviously not. I'm a kid in high school. I spent it all on dumb shit. I tried to get into other like little side hustles and stuff. Okay, so I had like a sneaker bot app, okay, that I would set up on like my PC. I was able to cook on like a couple Supreme drops. I had like a Supreme bot too. So I was always about like side hustle money. I was never into working for someone or someone telling me what to do. I was always trying to make money and always trying to gamify the system. And the reason why I know this is back in the day, like literally any video game possible, I was always trying to hack it, like no matter what, okay? So like Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, I was trying to hack the shit. Never got successful with Clash of Clans, but I did, at least right when Clash Royale came out, I was able to, I had a jailbroken phone and a rooted Android, if you guys are tapped in with any of that world, okay? I was trying to hack every single game to get infinite gems or infinite in-game currency. Some games were easier than others, but I was trying to hack the system. And then I realized like, oh wait, I can actually hack the system in real life. So that made things a lot more fun. Moving on from that is really like getting introduced to trading. So again, blew all my money trying to do other side hustles and also just trying to like day trade. But again, all you guys know how it goes when you guys start trading. You're over leveraging, you're over trading, you're trying to get rich quick, and it just doesn't go right. So starting in my junior year of high school, that was really when I got into trading. It took me 2 years to actually like fully want to get into like the day-to-day shit. And I first got introduced to Forex, and that's what I was trading on. I was trading on MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5 for the majority of my time until recently when I moved over to futures. But at that time, like, I was looking up to the main dudes that you still see on YouTube, okay? Like, freaking Swaggy C, Lambo Raul, like, bro, like, dead fucking serious. You guys are gonna call me, like, crazy. You guys are gonna call me, like, goofy. But, bro, like, when I was learning, those were the main people. And I know you guys have opinions on them, but, like, those were the people that I was learning from at the time. Like, I bought Swaggy C's course. I watched that shit through. I was trying to learn all about trading. Those were the people that were making trading content. So I was all about the support and resistance shit. I was all about the indicators. That was my bread and butter back in the day in high school. And as you guys can tell, I don't trade that way anymore. I was getting burned really heavily. And again, part of the game, you know, you kind of have to go through those ups and downs of trading. And unfortunately for me, you know, the crypto money starts running out because I'm blowing it all on these side hustles, blowing it all trying to, you know, get my bread up. But I honestly think that making those mistakes helped me in the long term. So again, you know, around this time, like trading is starting to pick up as I graduate, okay, at around 2020, and obviously COVID hits, so that helps a lot, right? I'm staying home for the majority of my senior year, and I have a bunch of time and effort to put into crypto, and I have a bunch of time and effort to put into trading, okay? So this is freaking awesome for me. I'm putting a bunch of money into crypto because I'm like, hey, I know about this shit now. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm gonna cook. Okay, and then also damn near like 2 years of trading under my belt at this point. So moving into the summer when I'm like trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm trying to figure out trading, trying to make it a full-time job, right? And pretty much like over that summer is right around when I start turning profitable with trading. And unfortunately for me though, you know, like all of my money is going into crypto because I have super big faith and super big confidence because this has been my shit for now 4 years straight. And then from there, I end up killing it in trading for like 6 months, and then boom, shit hits the fan. As you guys know, I tell this story all the time, talking about how I flipped $10,000 into 112K. I did that shit in 2 days. Bro, that was big time. I remember seeing that and I was like, holy shit, like I just did a 10x return. I literally remember thinking I went to bed with 112K in the like account balance on MetaTrader for that night, and I was literally sitting in bed and I was daydreaming about making $1 million in 2 days. Like you guys are like definitely gonna be laughing at this video like, oh, what a fucking dumbass. Yeah, now you guys have a good mentor with me, and I'm telling you guys that shit's not possible. I thought that shit was like so smooth and like guaranteed. I was like, bro, 10K into 100K, $1 million is on the fucking way. Like, let's go, okay? But obviously, that was not the case. The very next day, goodbye, 6 figures, okay? And then that honestly sent me into a really, really bad place. I stopped trading for 3 months straight. I pretty much avoided all day trading content, all chart work for 3 months. I still had significant amount of money in crypto just from doing, again, side shit. I was door dashing. I was working like over the summer before going into college. I was doing like summer camps, okay? I was like doing sports camp, and at the school I was like a freaking PE teacher for kindergarten and second graders where I like would make a couple $1,000s, right? It sucked because I was like, man, I put all the hard-earned money that I had into crypto, and I know I shouldn't pull it out now, and I just lost pretty much my entire net worth in trading. So I was super, super depressed, and it honestly flipped the whole switch and sent me right back to my childhood where I was like, man, I don't know what I want to do. I really thought this trading shit was going to work out. This sucks. I hate my life. I don't know. I have really bad mental health issues. Like, it still gets me like super sad to this day to think about how bad of a place that I was in. I attempted suicide several times. My parents didn't even know about it. Nobody knew about it. You know, like, I did it in like the worst way possible. Okay, like I'm making a joke about it, but it like for real, did it in the worst way possible. Like I tried just like taking an entire thing of freaking like pills that weren't even prescription pills. It was like shit that you get at CVS, and you know, it was stupid. It was in a really bad spot in my life. I pretty much spent like every single day really depressed about how my life was, and I was just feeling sorry for myself, which is honestly the saddest thing that you can do. Not like, oh, play the victim. It's like, no, you're a bitch for doing that, you know, being like, oh, poor me. Like, no, it's not poor you. It's like, get yourself off the fucking ground and, you know, dust yourself off. Like everybody gets knocked down. And until I realized that,
Oh my gosh.
I was in a horrible place. And then luckily for me, I checked the price of Bitcoin one day and I'm like, yo, we're back. So then, you know, obviously like during my first year of college, again, it's like still kind of back and forth with COVID. And this was like pretty much the COVID bull run, that 2020 run that Bitcoin and all the altcoins went in. It was a brutal time. And I was like, look, the crypto bags are doing well right now, but I definitely don't want to take anything out. And I was in super heavy debt. Another thing was that my parents weren't necessarily like going to pay for shit. So again, what did I have to do? I had to pick myself up from the super shitty position that I was in, dust myself off and be like, damn, what the fuck was I doing for the past 3 months? I'm way better than this. Let's get to work, okay? So I started door dashing pretty much 24/7 until I could pay off like debts. I had debts to people that I said I would trade for them, and I bet some of them like watch my content now and they were like, oh, this dude fucking like ripped me, and I had to pay them off for like several months. That shit shit fucking sucks. So I'm sorry guys, if you guys are seeing this now, I'm actually good at trading, but I won't trade your money. That shit really sucked. And like, they were some of my friends and they're banging my line. And that was also part of the cause of the whole mental health situation where it's like, dude, some of my best friends, like I lost a shit ton of money from them and they trusted me. And obviously I had no fucking clue what I was doing. So I had to get myself up. I DoorDashed for a bunch of money and boom, I ended up paying off all my debt. I was in debt with fucking PayPal for a little bit too. I still have those like letters of that the, what are they called, debt collectors sent to me. Bro, that shit is some serious motivation. I keep that in my desk in Puerto Rico. Yeah, finally got all of that shit paid off and crypto starts ripping and I'm like, okay, bet. I start looking at the charts again and I'm charting up crypto shit. I'm like, okay, maybe I you know, the gambling addiction came right back and I was like, fuck, let's go back into trading. So I get back into trading and I'm like, okay, I know exactly what I'm not supposed to do. I'm not supposed to trade other people's money and I'm definitely supposed to use risk management so I don't blow 6 figures again. And I know exactly how to trade. I knew a strategy that was working. I was fucking crushing it. I 10x my money, but I just did it with bad risk management. So from there, it was like, I literally already had all of the tools in order for me to be successful in trading. It was really just like me being disciplined. And I'm sure that's the case with a lot of you guys. You guys spend a lot of time focusing on, oh, what strategy should I use? When am I supposed to enter? It's like, bro, odds are, probably already know a pretty fucking good strategy to use. Shut the fuck up, use risk management, use discipline, and you'll be all right, okay? You're getting in your head way too much. Your emotions are fucking shit up for you, okay? So from there, I was like, bet. I know exactly what I had to do, and I feel like all traders have gone through, like, I've made several TikToks on this, but like, I call it the trade, or like, you know, like you kind of have to hit rock bottom. And I see a lot of successful people talk about this, like them hitting rock bottom. And for me, that was like me blowing the 6 figures and me being in severe debt with some of my best friends. It's like, dude, that shit was the worst, okay? And I hit rock bottom and then I was like, boom, extreme wake up call for what I had to do for my life. Takes me like a couple months to like actually be making consistent profits from it, but I'm not fully convinced that I'm profitable. Shit's kind of like, you know, obviously I'm making money, but I'm not going to convince myself that I'm profitable because of what had happened before, okay? And then from there, keep making money from trading. I get a couple withdrawals. I got funded from FTMO, Funded Talent, 5%ers, and my Forex funds. The trading shit was working. And on top of that, crypto was fucking ripping and I was able to exit for a ridiculous amount of money in crypto. Again, like I would prefer not to talk about numbers, but everyone knows like that clip of me on the podcast is like, you know, how much did you make from crypto? 8 figures and everyone, oh, what? Yeah, so that alone, like, I think it's really nice, and this can apply to trading, where if you guys can have a solid job or just like a solid amount of cash stuffed away while you're trading, where you don't necessarily have to worry about trading, paying your expenses, or you needing trading to make money in the first place, it'll make it way easier for you to actually like become profitable. Because think about it, if you need trading to make you money or get you out of a certain debt, there's obviously going to be emotions attached to that money being traded, right? Because you need to make that money in order to pay rent. You need to make that money in order to put food on the table. Okay, so with all of that in mind, you're going to be super emotional with the money that you're trading. But for me, I made a bunch of money in crypto, so it's like, okay, cool, life expenses, we're covered for like, you know, a long ass time. I can live like exactly how I am for years on end and like keep trying to figure this shit out and be completely okay. And I think that's really what accelerated my growth. So like a tip for you guys would be, you know, find a job that you guys can work that can pay off all of your living expenses while you're working on trading or one of your side hustles, so you're not super like attached to it. And then once the trading starts taking over and you guys are able to be successful with it, then you can kind of make that your full-time job. All right, and then from there, fast forward, that was pretty much like the entire point of my freshman year of college. And from there, I was like, okay, bet, like scrap the college shit. And on top of that, like, you guys are probably wondering like, oh, why did you even go to college in the first place? If you guys have like super strict parents or just parents that you're so used to saying yes to and like following the rules, like all Latinos, we're gonna stick together here on this one. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about, where it's like anything your parents say, that fucking goes, bro. It's not just like, fuck you, mom. Like, that's not how that shit goes, okay? So like my parents obviously running fucking school and, you know, they tell me, hey, you are going to college. Even though I really didn't want to, I was already super against the system. They were like, hey, you are going to college. And then from there, I was like, after my first year, I was literally showed them, I was like, bro, like, peep what's going on. I'm making a bunch of money. I have all this money. Let me drop out. I was pretty much, and it was crazy because I was a grown-ass man at this point. They weren't having it. And again, like, don't even ask me why. I'm just like, sir, yes, sir. Boom. We start running. Second year of college after the first semester. Also, I'm not even going to the classes, right? Like, I didn't even like college in the first place. So I'm getting horrible grades, and I'm literally telling my parents this. I'm like, look, I'm getting horrible ass grades in these classes because I'm making all this money. Why would I even go to class? I don't even want to be here in the first place. And they're like, oh no, like, you need it, like, just backup plan. And I was like, come on now, I'm gonna show you what a real plan is, okay? After that first semester of sophomore year, I literally had to sit my dad down and I showed him everything. I was like, yo, this is how much money I have saved. This is how much money I've invested. This is how much I made this month. This is how much I made the month before. Showed him like a 6-month track record. And I was like, you trust me? And he was like, okay, fine. Like, take a little, like, whatever, like, break, leave of absence for like the last semester and like just see how it goes. And then boom, we'll see how it goes. Right? Okay, cool. Take my leave of absence. Fucking crush that shit in trading. And I show my dad. My dad's like keeping up to date with my shit because he's stressing out for me. And I'm like, bet, I can actually cook now. So I'm telling my dad, I keep sending him like screenshots, pictures, and I'm like, look at this. And he's just like, ain't no way. And this is kind of when the whole script gets flipped with me and my parents' bond, where it was super, super head clashing when I wasn't necessarily successful. I was going against what they were saying. And this is probably where the majority of you guys are at right now, where you guys have this long-term vision for yourself and you're not successful yet, and your parents just don't see it because they're super by the book. They're old people. They don't get the new age that we're living in, and that's okay, you know? And honestly, you kind of, if your parents are like that, you kind of have to just clash heads with them, at least for a little bit, until you can actually like prove to them that you're actually like living what you rap about. Okay, that was what I had to do. And now, like, my dad thinks I'm one of the coolest dudes ever. Like, I'm making like 20x than what he makes in a month. So like, I'm cool. I'm the cool son now, you know? So it feels really good. And now, like, boom, bond is restored. And a lot of you guys, that is going to happen with your parents. You guys just have to, your life, live your life how you want to live. So from there, boom, I'm able to fully drop out of school.
Would do like why is Purdue fucking playing good defense after the
spent
first
another
drive?
full year in Utah, and I'm fully dropped out, and this is pretty much when I start getting into social media. Fully dropped out. I made a bunch of money from crypto, and I'm successful with trading. So I'm seeing like all these dudes on YouTube, and I'm like, man, these guys aren't teaching trading the right way. Not necessarily with a strategy, just the way that they're approaching it. So as you guys know, this is how you guys fucking found me, bro. Like, I was like, cool, I could start on YouTube. Damn, there's lots of YouTubers. I can go on Instagram. You know, I don't know if I want to like be posting reels. That's kind of weird. TikTok, have I ever seen a day trader on TikTok? Hell no. So I get started on TikTok, and honestly, the biggest thing that helped me blow up on there and get going on TikTok was me just showing what trading was really about, bro. Like, I was showing all my losses, I was showing all my wins, I was showing my withdrawals. Like, that was literally what blew me up, was just showing you guys what the reality of trading was, because nobody in the space was showing that shit. Nobody was showing withdrawals, nobody was showing losses, especially the losses shit. Like, everyone was just like, $100,000 gain, $78,000 gain, and I'm like, yo, I lost $12,000 today. And people were just like, what, like, you're not supposed to do that. I would like to say that I helped change the game of trading by actually admitting to losses, at least on day trading TikTok. Everybody shares like, boom, wins, losses. Like, I feel like the trading space is a lot more open to how people trade nowadays. And on some cocky shit, I would like to take some credit for that. And then from there, you know, started the YouTube up. You know, we're still trading consistently. We're making a bunch of money. The crypto shit obviously has died down. This is like during the bear market. As time goes on, you know, like Bitcoin's down in the DM now when I'm like on this last year in Utah. Pretty much that entire year, I was like, man, I feel so ambitious and I feel really ready to break out of my shell. And that's what kind of led me to the next step and kind of the life that I'm living now, which is Puerto Rico, Miami, the half and half. So I want to kind of give you guys like what my headspace was to be able to transfer and change from being in Utah and what helped me break out of that shell. So first of all, like, again, no hate to my college friends. They're still some of my best friends to this day. But again, what are they? They're college kids, you know? Like, everybody in college, it's a bad environment to be around. They're going out every single weekend. I was, even at this time, like, I was a super severe stoner. I was literally only just, bro, I was trading only and smoking. Like, that was it. Like, it was just trade, J. You know, like that shit's not good at all for sustainability, for your headspace, and especially for your income, okay? Like, I guess luckily for me, I was good enough at trading where like I could kind of play off of it, but now my trading is infinitely better and I haven't smoked gas in forever, okay? And I feel way better off of it. So that's like the huge thing was me breaking out of that environment and realizing like, hey, is this environment good for me anymore? You know, and it really wasn't. And I know there's a lot of you guys that are probably in a really similar situation where your friends, they don't have the same mindset as you. Your parents, you know, they don't have the same mindset as you. You guys need to fucking move. Like, get away from that. Get completely out of that horrible environment that you're in right now. Really, for me, it was like there was Utah Tyler, and then like everyone had this like circle around me. It was like a fucking force field, and I was just in the middle of it, and I was trying to break out of who Utah Tyler was. Utah Tyler, come on, like, don't make me a stoner. Come on, like, I don't want to go out on weekends. I want to go to bed early. I want to wake up early. I really want to get after this social media shit. I still want to be super successful at trading. Let me out. And it's just really hard to reinvent yourself when people already have a perspective of you. You're just going to conform to what those people have opinions on you. And then from there, pack the shit up. I moved out to Puerto Rico. The main decision maker was that I either wanted to move to Miami or move to San Diego. And I was calling my cousin or my dad's cousin for tax help because I made a shit ton of money with crypto and I needed a bunch of advice on what to do. And he pretty much told me, he was like, Tyler, if you don't move to Puerto Rico, like, I don't know what you're doing. It's literally like right up your alley, 0% capital gains tax. It's right in line with the whole crypto and trading scene. There's a lot of crypto guys out there. You gotta move. Again, I was like, all right, leap of faith. Don't know anybody on this island. Don't know anything about the island. I went and visited it for a week and I was like, hell yeah, this place is awesome. So wrapped shit up, packed everything up in Utah, decided to make the move to Puerto Rico. And when I tell you guys, it was ridiculous. The change from Utah Tyler to Puerto Rico Tyler, I literally was able to reinvent myself because no one fucking knew me out there. When people like were trying to get to know me, I was portraying and being the exact person that I wanted to be. I was the go to bed early type of guy. I was the wake up early type of guy. I was the guy who's always working. I was the guy who's, you know, like freaking confident. I was the guy who, you know, like runs several companies and is successful out there. Versus in Utah, it's fucking, oh, like that one dude who like kind of has motion, but you know, like he plays basketball sometimes and he smokes all the time and he still goes out. So what the fuck is he doing? You know, that wasn't the best for me. And then when I was able to get out to Puerto Rico, this is a super cool stat that I like to talk about. After my first month that I moved to Puerto Rico, I 10x'd my income, which sounds ridiculous, but completely true. For real, like that was a really big deal of me changing my environment and helping me expand and grow as a person. And now, you guys have pretty much followed me up until where we're at now. Like, you guys remember the numbers that I was doing in Utah? Like, you guys saw that accelerate so quick with my trading. You guys saw me, like, when I first started making social media videos, it was like, oh, made 2K today. Oh, made 5K today. Oh, I lost $3,000 today. Oh, I made 6K today. Oh, I lost 4K today. And then, like, it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And you guys saw all of that shit happen in front of your faces. If you guys need a reminder, go back and rewatch old trade recaps of me showing you guys fucking everything. Like, even watch these trade recaps where I'm showing you guys entries and exits and all of that. And like, nowadays, I feel like I've proved myself enough where it's like, dude, now I'm here to, you know, like just make my money in fucking silence and teach you guys everything that I've learned. Yeah, so again, like, you guys are wondering like, oh, if you're so successful, if you're making all this money, like why do you have a Discord? First of all, don't even have a Discord. You guys can't get into that shit anymore. That shit's X-Man, okay? Like, watch the free kick streams. I'm doing it better than all the other mentors for free ski, okay? Click the link in the description. Shit on them, okay? But on top of that, you guys, like, obviously, I have the mastermind. So you guys are probably saying, like, if you're so successful from crypto and trading, why do you have a mastermind? You know, there's two super solid answers for that. It would be, one, who doesn't want to make more money than they're making right now, right? That, like, you know, again, I'm going to be real with you guys. Does the mastermind make me money? Obviously, right? It's freaking obvious that the mastermind makes me money. And who wouldn't want to make more money off of a skill that I spent literally years to learn that I'm really proficient at? Duh, right? And then on top of that, bro, since I started social media, my entire social media and everything that I've done up until this point is for younger, unprofitable me. So whenever I'm making a video, I'm like, this shit right now, this is to motivate young, unprofitable me. I'm just thinking, hey, what would unprofitable me want out of a trading influencer? What would young, unprofitable me want out of a trader to do for his audience? And that's what I'm delivering on. And that's exactly what I capture within the mastermind. Like, I know for a fact that within there, you know, like, I don't even want to shill you guys on it, but within there, that's exactly what young and unprofitable me would need in order to turn profitable. And that's the exact reason why that's the only thing that I charge for. And matter of fact, you guys can't even fucking buy it right now. Or maybe it's going on right now, but odds are, if you guys are watching this shit right now, you guys can't even buy it. So I'm not even telling you guys to get in there and, oh, like, buy the fucking mastermind. It's me literally just telling you guys, like, this is the one thing that I'll ever charge for. It's for young, unprofitable me, because I truly believe in the value that I give within there to help accelerate growth, literally give you like the fast track to profitability, okay? And again, like, I'll give you guys some free game. Like, what's something that I wish I could tell younger me? And let's say you guys are already profitable and you just like watching my videos and you guys are starting to make a shit ton of money. Biggest thing that I would say is be smart with your money. You never know what could happen, okay? Because again, like, the world is a nasty place. You never know what could happen to a family member where you might need to support them. You never know what could happen to yourself. You never know what could happen, like, at all, okay? There could be a huge black swan event within the financial world that causes everything to crash. There could be a freaking war, right? We need to be prepared for all of these situations, and I'm not necessarily fear-mongering, but I just want you guys to have the right headspace of, look, you want to think that money is going to be exponential and you can make significant amounts of money consistently, but also have a relatively limiting mindset of, hey, like, I am making all this money. I worked really hard for this. How can I set myself up so that I never have to go through that super brutal, super hard work that I already went through in the first place? And maybe this is going to be advice that you guys look back on several years from now when you guys finally make it, where you guys can see, like, I worked really, really hard. I'm finally profitable. I'm finally starting to take profits out of the market. Got to remember what TJR said, like, put that money with the old men. The old men, believe it or not, they're really fucking smart with their money, okay? They put it in treasuries, they put it in bonds, they put it in index funds, okay? They'll make you a stock portfolio, get a wealth manager, get into private equity, diversify your portfolio so that you're not just somebody who has 5 different supercars, so that you're not somebody who just has $1 million closet. Like, obviously, I have a cool car, I have cool watches, I have some jewelry, and I wear cool clothes, but I know for a fact that if everything comes crashing down, one, for the first thing, like, I'll be able to make all that shit back because of the skills that I made, but on top of that, I wouldn't even be worried in the first place because of the money that I have put away. All right, and I kind of just want to wrap this up and give like a message to most of you guys, because like most of you guys are probably unprofitable right now, and I know this was like a long ass video of me yapping, me telling you guys' life story, but hopefully this is some motivation to you guys and for you guys to realize, like, bro, it really hasn't been that long that I've been extremely successful. And honestly, like, if we're being completely real, like, you guys saw my life change in front of your eyes. Yeah, it happened like right before I got on social media with like the whole crypto bag and me starting to turn profitable. But right after that, you know, like pretty much 6 months after that, I was ready to get into social media. And, you know, like you guys saw me going from making small $1,000 days to several, you know, like
Are you really the last person to find out about this skip ads forever button? This is Pi, and if it sounds familiar to you, it's probably because you've seen their ads everywhere, especially this one. It's a free Chrome extension that blocks ads basically everywhere else you go online. And no, it's not one of those sketchy ad blockers that like steals your data and installs malware. They even have a rewards program that pays you to see ads, like they're literally throwing pity money at us for having to scroll through ads. So nice of them. Okay,
I believe the NBA is the most profitable sport to bet on, and I want to teach you guys exactly what you should be doing to make a bunch of money this 2024-2025 NBA season. When you think about it from a volume perspective, it kind of just makes sense. An 82 regular game season for the NBA compared to the NFL that's only 17 games. So, more games equals more profitable betting opportunities for sharp sports bettors like me and now you. And because there is so many games and every single day, there's a lot more for these sports books to keep up with when setting their lines and odds. So that means there's a bigger chance for them to mess up or be slow when adjusting to certain news, lineups, injuries, etc. And that leads me to talk about the number one reason why the NBA is the best sport to bet on when you're trying to make money, and that's because lineups and injury news happen every single day, and sometimes they are so random the sports books can't keep up. Well, at least certain sports books fall behind, and you are able to take advantage of these lines before they adjust to the news. I'll give you guys an example right now. Let's say Jason Tatum is ruled out. He's randomly taking a rest day, but this happens 30 minutes before tip-off, right? Then the sportsbooks have to scramble to adjust their lines because Jason Tatum being out in the NBA is huge, not only for different player props, but also the spread, the probability for them to win. It really means a lot when a star player is ruled out in the NBA, even more so than the NFL. But think about it. Jason Tatum's ruled out. Jaylen Brown's points line now goes from 21.5 to maybe 24.5. It has to be raised because he's going to be taking more shots and having more opportunities on offense than if Jason Tatum was still in the game. And then same thing for rebound lines, right? Porzingis' rebound line now from maybe 7.5 gets bumped up to 8.5 or maybe 9.5. It really affects things on not only the Celtics side, but even the player props for whatever team they're facing. This happens literally all the time in the NBA, and you can take advantage of it. Now, unlike most sports, the NBA does kind of have a prime time for finding the best value, and that comes maybe an hour or 2 hours just before the tip-offs of the very first games of the night, because that's when injury news and lineup news gets announced before these games get tipped off. So if a typical starter on a team is ruled out, that affects the game a ton, especially the player props for the remaining players in the starting lineup and that player that was now moved to the bench or just not playing anymore. Sportsbooks are really, really good about setting lines and odds, and that's why they're profitable for a reason. It's in their best interest to set these lines and odds as accurately as possible, so that way they can make money off their sports bettors or customers, right? However, when these random lineup changes happen, they have to scramble to adjust their lines via their models and algorithms. But that leads to profitable betting opportunities for us sports bettors on books that are slow. And books that are slow, typically like Prize Picks, Underdog, some of these DFS apps. Check out this example right here. About 30 minutes before tip-off, typical starter Grayson Allen was ruled not starting. He was going to be coming off the bench, which I know Grayson Allen isn't a star player, but that affects a lot of things when he's going to be playing less minutes and not starting for the Suns. You can see that the sportsbooks adjusted to this news right here. You see, Grayson Allen was listed at 17.5 typically as a starter for his points plus rebounds. However, once this news was announced, the sportsbooks all adjusted and moved this line down to 13.5 with juice favoring his under. Prize Picks was slow to adjust and they still had him up at 17.5 points plus rebounds. So there was a huge edge taking the under of 17.5 on Prize Picks, getting a 75% chance to hit this prop on Prize Picks. But as you can see here, it wasn't just his points plus rebound line, it was his PRA, points, rebounds, and assists, was set to 19.5 originally when he was claimed to be a starter, and then whenever he was ruled coming off the bench, it was bumped down to 15.5 across the sports books. His fantasy score, his actual points line, and even his points plus assist line. Insane the value you could get on Prize Picks when this happened because they were so slow to adjust. So this right here is actually Daily Grind Fantasy, and it's the website that I use to compare sportsbooks lines and odds back to Prize Picks, Underdog, and all those other DFS apps to find the best possible value like this every single day. I'll leave a link down below to Daily Grind Fantasy, and if you use code DustinDGF, you will get 25% off your very first month. And Daily Grind Fantasy doesn't just have NBA, it shows the best value for all of your major sports, and even line compares esports as well. Guys, you can implement the same strategies I'm talking about in NBA today throughout this video in all of these sports and esports as well. You can find a bunch of value throughout the NBA without even lineup or injury news, but I wanted to show you guys one more example here. You can see that Jarrett Allen was ruled out for the Cavs, and that affected not only the Cavs, but also the Magic's player props, because Jarrett Allen being a big man down low, that could affect rebounds, and he's a scorer as well. But let's look at this. We see Paolo Banchero was listed at 34 on Prize Picks, but the rest of the sportsbooks had bumped this up to 34.5 with juice on the over, or even up to 35.5 on multiple sportsbooks. Donovan Mitchell and Max Strus rebounds lines have now bumped up as well across the major sports books. You can see Banchero's rebounds and assists went from 12 to 12.5 across the sports books, and Wendell Carter, as well, as he is a big man, that would be down low with Jarrett Allen. So it just makes sense why these player props would adjust when somebody as big to the game as Jarrett Allen would be ruled out just before tip-off. I took that value and put it into a 5-leg flex on Prize Picks and cashed out for 10x. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen every single time. You are not guaranteed to win just because you got good value, but if you consistently get good value and beat the closing lines that the sports books end with, you are going to be a profitable bettor in the NBA this season. Now, majority of my examples and strategy are focused around Prize Picks and those other DFS apps, but you can do this as straight betting as well. You can see Andrew Nembhard under 2.5 rebounds was listed at -105 odds on Flip, and there is huge value there. But why? When we look at Daily Grind Fantasy, comparing Flip back to the major sportsbook market, we can see that the rest of the market was close to -140, -139 to be exact, but let's say -140, when Flip has this listed at -105. Clearly, Flip is off from what the rest of the market is establishing these odds at. So basically what's going on here is that Flip is viewing this play as a less chance to hit than what the rest of the market is. Are you going to trust Flip or the other three sportsbooks that are agreeing this should be around -140? So they are giving this a 54.56% chance to hit. So you're getting a 3% edge because Flip is viewing it more so as like a 51% chance to hit. So that's why they have it priced at -105 compared to the -140. So that's the goal. Find whatever app or sportsbook is off from the rest of the market and play it there. Now let's switch gears back to Prize Picks and focus on what you should be looking for on a normal prop. A normal prop posted to Prize Picks, none of the injury news or lineup news props that are slow to adjust. This Luka play was listed at 3.5 on Prize Picks and 3.5 on the sports books. So why are we recommending the over on Prize Picks? That's because look at the juice that the sports books are giving this play, right? Average odds of -163 to go over 3.5 3-pointers made, right? Giving it a 58% chance to hit. Now, how do we find that 58% chance to hit? Daily Grind Fantasy does this on the back end, but they are removing the juice from the sports books, which you are paying the sports books just for placing that bet, right? What they are making off you from just placing that bet on the sports book. We can find the true fair odds percentage that these sports books are giving this play to hit, and that's about 58%, also known as odds percent to hit. And same thing here with this Jaylen Brown play, listed at 5.5 rebounds on PrizePicks, same on the sports books, but the sports books, the data points are all saying this is heavily favored to go over 5.5 rebounds, right? Trust the market, trust the data and the sports books that have multi-million-dollar algorithms and models setting these lines and odds for a reason, right? And then play it at the best possible odds you can find, because that's how you're going to be profitable long term. Get it at -119 in a 5 or 6 man flex on PrizePicks, which it should never be up on the PrizePicks board when it's that heavily favored on the sports books, because long term you have an edge against PrizePicks, and PrizePicks doesn't like that. That's why they bump and remove props so fast, because they know that there's an edge against them on a play like this. But how do you know you have an edge against PrizePicks? Let me explain. 5 and 6 man flexes are the most profitable slip types and the easiest to be profitable long term when playing PrizePicks, because you need to be right on your individual legs playing 5 and 6 man flexes at 54.2+% of the time, right? So we're taking those plays that the sports books, these multi-million-dollar companies, are giving 56, 57% chance to hit, right? And playing them in 5 and 6 man flexes long term, that's insane when you need to be right just 54% of the time. So they're saying that over and over and over again, if you play those props out 1,000 times, they're going to hit 57-ish% of the time. That's insane when you need to be right just 54.2% of the time. And if you're playing 2 and 3 man slips on PrizePicks, you need to stop immediately, because you're making it harder on yourself. You need to be right on your individual legs or have a hit rate of above 58.5% of the time in 3 man slips, and then 57.7% of the time in those 2 man powers. Guys, it's almost a 4% difference in hit rate that you have to have when playing those slip types compared to 5 and 6 man flexes. So yes, the ultimate goal is to find 5 or 6 plays that have insane value on PrizePicks when comparing to the rest of the market. You can see you are getting a full point-plus rebound on Valanciunas' lines on PrizePicks, lower than what the rest of the market has. Clearly, PrizePicks is off, and there is value taking the over of 20.5 on PrizePicks, because you're going to trust the market, as I mentioned. Trust the 5 sports books that are telling you this should be at 21.5 compared to just PrizePicks setting this line at 20.5. And if you do that, and you constantly get closing line value like this, where you're beating the market, you are going to be profitable playing PrizePicks, playing the NBA this year. Now, you're not going to win every single slip. Those are 5 and 6 leg parlays, but if you consistently get that little bit of an edge, 1 to 3% edge over and over again, it's going to add up. Think about it like flipping a weighted coin. If I had a coin that I knew was going to land on heads 52% of the time, right, and I was flipping for heads, you were flipping for tails, and you didn't know about it, over the long term, as we flip that coin, right, that 2% edge I'm getting on you is going to add up. Sure, you're going to go on runs where you have 10 tails in a row, but if we do this over 1,000 times, that 2% edge is going to keep showing up, and I am going to end up flipping heads more times than you are tails in the long term. This strategy, known as line comparing, is something that plenty of people are taking advantage of and seeing long-term profitable success by doing so, right? But they're not quitting after a stretch where you're losing 18 slips in a row, right? Because if you lose 18 6-leg slips in a row that are 25x payouts, and then you hitch your very next one, you are extremely profitable over that stretch of slips just based off hitting one slip, right? But you can see, if you just stick to it, which these people are that are seeing that success, right, you are going to see a profitable NBA season. But it gets even easier to implement this strategy if manually line comparing using an odds screen like Daily Grind Fantasies optimizers, as you guys can see here, is not your style, right? You don't want to have to manually look at all this and decipher what's good value, what's not. They have an AI slip generator that AI uses line comparing technologies to build out full slips that have value for you, right? You can see this slip right here is spit out by the AI slip generator, and all you simply do is reveal the slip and then play it on Underdog, right? Same thing for these other DFS apps like Better or even PrizePicks. And on PrizePicks, you can play slips with one click of a button that will load up your PrizePicks slip. Over here on PrizePicks, you just enter in the amount you would want to play, and you know that you are getting long-term profitable value by using AI that can quickly way faster than you and I, line compare the sports books back to whatever app and build out those slips. All you have to do is tail. And you can see here, since the AI slip generator launched at Daily Grind Fantasy, it is up over 2,000 units since 8/18 of 2023. Actually insane that we are now having AI do sports betting for us. So if that's something you're interested in, I'll leave a link down below for the AI slip generator as well. So yes, if you want to actually make money betting the NBA this season, you need to remove your emotions from your sports betting and start finding plays that have a real edge against the sports books via line comparing. Stop betting Jason Tatum over his points line because he's your favorite player or the Celtics are your favorite team. I promise, trust the sports books, trust the data. Everything that you think you know or can look up, like the last 5 game logs, last 10 game logs, that Jason Tatum's gone over up 7 out of the last 10 games, that means nothing, right? The sports books already know everything you think you know and more, and implement that into setting their own lines and odds based off their algorithms and multi-million-dollar models. So, trust the market, trust the sports books, get rid of everything that you think you know, all that heart stuff, and you will be profitable betting the NBA this season. That's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video or you learned something in it.
Are you really the last person to find out about this skip ads forever button? This is Pi, and if it sounds familiar to you, it's probably because you've seen their ads everywhere, especially this one. It's a free Chrome extension that blocks ads basically everywhere else you go online. And no, it's not one of those sketchy ad blockers that steals your data and installs malware. They even have a rewards program that pays you to see ads.
Yo, what's up YouTube? Alex here, and in this video, I'm going to be breaking down ways to make money betting on the NBA. The NBA returns in mid-October. I truly believe it's the most profitable sport to bet on. Anybody with the right strategies can make money betting on basketball. I think it's better than football for a variety of reasons that I'll explain in this video. But last year, I made over $50,000 betting on the NBA. This bet tracker that I use, it's a verified bet tracker called Pickett Sports. Basically what it does is it reads in your bets from the sports books. You sync your sportsbook accounts like FanDuel, DraftKings. Pickett will read in all your bets, show you your profit and loss with a ton of analytics like your profit and loss by sport. But anyways, the first thing I wanted to explain is why do I even think the NBA is more profitable than the NFL? I love betting on football. Every single year I bet on both football and the NBA. But the first reason is just number of games, right? The NBA has 82 games in a regular season. NFL is only 17. Similarly, for college basketball, there's around 40 games in the regular season for each team. For college football, it's only like 12. So a lot of it is just the amount of games. More games means more surface area for the books to cover, means more opportunity to find profitable bets. More games, more profitable bets. That's one of the reasons why I actually think sports like esports, Counter-Strike, Valorant are pretty profitable to bet on just because there's so many games. So if you have access to a sports book that offers esports lines, a lot of times there's hundreds of games every single day. There's a lot of opportunity. But anyways, NBA, college basketball, insanely profitable sports. So without further ado, let's get into some profitable basketball betting strategies. So the first strategy that I love to use when betting on the NBA, and I'll go through some examples, some specific examples in a second, is taking advantage of injury news and lineup changes. So again, in the NBA, there's a lot more games. There's 82 games in the regular season, so it's pretty common for players to take rest days, even if they're not injured, right? For Giannis to take a few games off during the season. So if Giannis doesn't play, that's super impactful. The point spread has to move, the money line has to move, the probability of the Bucks winning the game if their star player is out changes drastically. Also, other players, their prop lines have to move. For example, Damian Lillard, you'd probably see his points line move up a lot, right? If Giannis is out, the star player on the Bucks who does a lot of the scoring, Damian Lillard is going to be expected to take more shots and have more output in the game. Also, other players, their rebound line has to change. So long story short, there's a lot of opportunity just around injuries, rest days, and lineup changes. I'll run through some specific examples, but you may be thinking, well, that's also applicable to the NFL. And that's kind of true, right? In basketball, there's 5 players on the court, and the best players are extremely impactful in terms of the probability of their team winning the game. If Giannis sits out, everything has to move a lot. The books go into, kind of free-for-all, trying to adjust lines, and that can lead to profitable bets. Line movement, when the market kind of goes into disarray, that often leads to really good betting opportunities for data-driven sharp bettors. On the other hand, in the NFL, of course, if Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers gets injured, that's going to really affect the odds. However, for the most part, in the NFL, players don't take rest weeks, right? Patrick Mahomes isn't going to randomly sit out week 4 of the season or week 6 or 7 unless he's injured. The second thing is, aside from the quarterback, star players, they don't actually affect the probability of a team winning the game that much. And I know that may sound surprising. Christian McCaffrey is a very good player. I don't mean to, make fun of him, but when Christian McCaffrey was ruled out of the 49ers-Jets game in week 1, he was officially ruled out. He's not going to be playing. Guess what? The odds on the 49ers winning or the opposing team, the Jets, they didn't really change that much. It basically stayed about the same, as you can see in this line movement chart from OddsJam. So injuries, rest days, that is super impactful in the NBA and leads to tons of profitable bets. So here's an example of how lineup news can really move the market in the NBA. The Warriors, their official starting lineup came out. I recommend following this Twitter account, UnderdogNBA. And what you'll notice is Chris Paul wasn't in the starting lineup, meaning he's going to be coming off the bench, probably playing less minutes, less likely to score, to get assists, to get rebounds. So the books went into free-for-all because Chris Paul was expected to start. So on Prize Picks, they still had his line at 25 points plus rebounds plus assists, whereas Underdog Fantasy, after the news came out, Paul's not starting, they had his line at 19.5. So this is a massive difference. All sports books set their own lines. So what I did is I middle bet this. Middle betting is a strategy. OddsJam has a tool for it, and it's because books set their own lines. When 2 books have such different lines, you bet the over on one book, the under on a different book, and you're kind of day trading the sports books. It's like buying a stock at $19.50 on E-Trade, going over to Fidelity, selling it for $25. So I bet the under 25 on Prize Picks. I bet the over 19.5 on Underdog. And if Chris Paul would have had 20 to 25 points plus rebounds plus assists, PRAs, then I would have won both bets. Or if he had exactly 25, I would have pushed on Prize Picks. It would have been refunded. I would have won my bet on Underdog Fantasy. So we kind of have this range, which is a big range, right? 5.5 PRAs, points plus rebounds plus assists. That's a big gap. And if Paul ended up with 20 to 25, I would have won both bets. So this is just one of many examples. I do this all the time during NBA season, is kind of picking books off, taking advantage of lineup news and injury news. Before I get into some other strategies, data-driven, profitable, proven strategies for making money betting on the NBA, I wanted to mention that most of these strategies you can apply to other sports like the NFL, MLB, even hockey, right? Sports betting is about understanding data and markets. We just explained middle betting for the NBA, taking advantage of lineup news, looking for discrepancies between sports books. You can also do that in the NFL. I've made videos about betting on the NFL. Again, I don't think it's as profitable as the NBA, but of course I bet on the NFL. There's ways to make money. So if you want to make money sports betting, it's really about understanding the fundamentals of markets, probability, how sports books move lines. Middle betting, which I explained again with the Chris Paul example, that's a strategy you can use in any sport. It's super profitable. So you don't have to switch things up all the time. People love to make sports betting complicated, right? Middle betting is super profitable. You can use it in the NFL, the MLB, the NBA, college basketball. It doesn't really matter. You're using a data-driven approach to day trade the sports books and make money. So for example, one strategy I love in the NBA is called arbitrage betting. I use this strategy in baseball and the NFL as well. But essentially, all sports books, they all set their own odds. So when two books get super out of sync, for example, you look right here at Benchero, you can see Fliff is noticeably different. This one sports book, Fliff, which is legal basically everywhere, they have his over 5.5 rebounds, assists at plus 100. On the other hand, if you look at FanDuel, they're super different. They have this line at minus 158. So the sports betting market is super inefficient or fragmented because you have hundreds of sports books that have launched in the US. They're all trying to set their own prices, their own odds, and sometimes they get super out of sync. Most plays are in arbitrage bets, but if you're using a software like the OddsJam arbitrage tool, that tool is reading in millions of odds every second to point out the rare few arbitrage plays. So arbitrage is just when two sports books get so out of sync, have such different odds, that you can bet the over on one book, the under on a different book, and guarantee a profit. So in this case, for example, you'd want to bet the over on Fliff, which is offering plus 100, crazy good odds, the under on FanDuel at plus 124, and you will make a risk-free $27, which is exactly what I did. You can see my bet slips here. I put $250 on Fliff on the over, which at the time, they've increased their max bet size, but at the time, $250 was the max bet size allowed on Fliff. I used the arbitrage calculator, which told me to hedge on FanDuel, bet 223 on the under. I rounded down. I only put 220, and I'm making approximately a risk-free $26.79, $27, as you can see on the arbitrage calculator. And I'll kind of run through that math, for you. So for example, just imagine if Benchero, if he goes over 5.5 assists, if he has 6 or more, on Fliff, I bet 250 at plus 100 odds. So I will profit 250, right? I'm up 250 profit on Fliff. I bet 250 at plus 100 odds. On FanDuel, I lose $220 that I bet on the under. So that's a net profit of $30, right? There's slight differences. You may be thinking, oh, I thought you said you were making $27 risk-free. This is $30. The slight difference is because I decided to round the arbitrage calculator. On the other hand, if Benchero goes under 5.5 assists, if he has 5 or less, I'm going to lose my 250 on Fliff. And then on FanDuel, you can see right here, I'm going to win 272.80. So that's a net profit of 22.80. And again, the difference from the 26.79 is because I rounded the calculator slightly. I didn't want to sketch out the sports books. So arbitrage is just a way to day trade the sports books. Again, $27 risk-free may not seem that great, but this arbitrage play, it took me, all of 30 seconds to lock in. I go to FanDuel. OddsJam actually has one-click bet now. So you can just click and it'll take you right to the sports book and you can bet it right on the sports book. So it's really easy to navigate these books. So basically, I go to FanDuel, I go to Fliff, I place my bets. After the game ends in, a few hours, that game was today. It's not like this game was months away. I'm $30 richer just from putting in, a few bets and clicking a couple buttons. I'm day trading the books with this sharp betting strategy. So again, this is called arbitrage betting. Making $27 risk-free may not seem that great, but it takes 30 seconds to do. So why can't you lock in, put in the work, put in the time, and lock in 10 arbitrage bets in a day? Each arbitrage bet is making $27. That's $270 total of risk-free profit. You have no risk. So just like middle betting, this is a sharp, data-driven strategy. Arbitrage is not a term that only applies to sports betting. You hear about arbitrage in financial markets, but at this point, financial markets are super efficient, right? If you want to buy a stock, it's going to be basically the exact same price on any different platform you go to. It's not the old.
Here, can you throw my wallet back?
Huh? Update the site. Remove site. The Kings still have Scalabus. That's been like 2.5 hours. Damn it.